Man, I keep forgetting how much I love that freaking music. What's up, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome to a Saturday stream. It is 8 p.m. Eastern on July 26, 2025. It is the final Saturday before Gen Con 2025. You are not prepared. I think I'm prepared. But I am excited to see how things go down. I am excited for the session tonight. I am really glad that we are back together playing this game again before Gen Con next week. Before I go any further, a couple of reminders on ways to support us. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube, and thank you for everyone who's following over there. Please, as a reminder, please do subscribe to us on YouTube. It's free for you to do that, but it really helps us out, helps the algorithm, and we are trying to continue to build that channel and its general amounts of people. So please make sure that you join us over there and get that content earlier. Discord is !ArvCord. Hey, Bid. Hey, Triffid, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. I saw Nonstop here before as well, so welcome, Nonstop. Good to see you. !Arv Cord for that. !Arv Tweets is my Twitter, but not for very much longer because Blue Sky is the one that I'm pushing. !Arv Sky. I am very close, folks. I am now only about 21 followers away from reaching that 1,000 number. And once I reach that 1,000 number on Blue Sky, I am going to lock down and shut down my Twitter and abandon that hellscape as it deserves to be abandoned. And I will then be exclusively on Blue Sky as far as microblogging is concerned. So please join me over on the skies of blue, !Arv Sky for that. I am indeed on TikTok. I have not done that much with it, I've done some in little spurts here and there, but truthfully, the reality is that it's been difficult because what I really need is a social media manager. I really would like to hire a social media manager / video editor for a relatively, for that is affordable for an individual creator like myself. I would love to be able to do that. So yeah, that sort of thing. And I'd like to be able to do more of that stuff, but it's just a matter of time that I have very little of. And so, but I have it, and I want to be able to show more of it as time goes on. We've done a lot of stuff with YouTube Shorts and so on. No shorts with Mini-Arv. Hey, listen, Mini-Arv is, doing awesome. Mini-Arv just got a haircut too, and Mini-Arv looks quite different than he has for a few months. So looking good. He's very excited. He got a really good haircut, so he was very happy about it. Anyway, !Arv Tube, !Arv Tweets, and !Arv Sky for that. Don't forget our Gen GM show, Gen GMs, that I do with one Mr. Zach Clay, about whom more in a moment, about DM and GM tips. So please join us for that. Why do I keep hearing things falling? I'm going to have to check and see what that is in a minute. But before I get there, actually, wait. I'm worried about the cats. Hold on a second. Nobody panic. I want to see what's falling. Nobody panic. Oh, that's why. That's why. Something fell. And the thing that fell was this thing. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm all fine, thanks. How are you? Okay. Sorry about that. Had to get the stuff that was falling off the back of my shelves. So yes, let's see. So yes, Gen GMs, please check that out. Website for this, arvaneleron.com. Financially, !Arv Treon. That is my Patreon, which is currently sitting at $77 a month. We're really trying to work to get that back into triple digits. I'm going to make that a focus in September of my Patreon. Make that a focus on my subathon, I should say, which is the 3rd annual Arvathon coming up in September. I really want to get that into triple digits, and I want to get my subs into built up as well during our 3rd annual subathon. So you can get very cool stuff for yourself and cool stuff for the channel. So please consider supporting us on the Patreon. That would be lovely. !Arv Shop is the merchandise area where you can get cool swag for you and also support the channel at the same time. And also subbing to the channel, as I just mentioned, is also really helpful. You get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. That is very valuable, and we love it, and please do more of that, please. again, cool stuff for you as well. On the publishing side, Exclamation Point Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts. Exclamation Point Library, my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library, my 5e Adventure and Sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And Exclamation Point Greyshade, Exclamation Point Greyshade, which is coming, first of all, my Grey Assassin trilogy, which is available, hang on a second. Goodbye, banned into the Shadow Realm. Exclamation Point, Greyshade is my Greyshade IP. Greyshade, Renegade, and Heretic, the Grey Assassin trilogy from Athos Arts, available there. So we've got that. Then we also have the audiobook of Greyshade from our very own Trent Sparks. You can get the first one, Greyshade, right now. You can also be on the lookout for the next two, Renegade and Heretic, which are the next two audiobooks. Those will be coming out in the fall, again from Trent Sparks. Very excited for those. And also super important is the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade, designed by our very own Brandon O'Brien and produced by the sponsors of this campaign, Alligator Alley Entertainment. That will be coming out soon. Very excited about that. And we're going to be doing a special kind of a preview adventure, if you will, sort of showing people what this game is all about a week from today, Friday, at Gen Con as a part of the Writer Symposium. If you are going to Gen Con, please do get tickets for that. We'd love to see you there. It's not expensive. It is going to be entertaining. It is going to be Brandon O'Brien GMing for myself and four other people, intrepid adventurers, all. Some of them are already part of our every year D&D thing that I often do. That's Karen Menzel, who's there, and also Richard Lee Byers, who's there, and also Jennifer Brozek, who people on this channel are familiar with from Eberron, and also Toya Kristen Finley, who you are going to hear more from in just a moment. So I'm very excited about playing with those folks as Brandon GMs. It's going to be awesome, and that's Friday night. I'll be live streaming that on this channel as well, if all goes well. Hi, Tom. Tom, good to see you. What's up, man? So that's the deal with that. Again, Exclamation Point Greyshade for those details. And as last but certainly not least, Exclamation Point BLM, Black Lives Matter. Important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation Point Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Exclamation Point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage. And we send the message that we will do so for others in that situation in the future. As I said, this is the last pre-Gen Con 2025 Saturday stream, because the next one is going to be very tentative. That's going to be next Saturday, because I'm going to be very unlikely, actually, that streams are going to be happening at Gen Con other than that Friday one, because I'm going to be running around. I'm going to be on panels and all this kind of stuff. And I'm also going to be doing some game stuff, as well. So there's a whole bunch of things that we're going to be doing, which I'm pumped up about, but it means that I won't be able to do as much channel stuff during that time. But we do have another stream before that, and that is on Tuesday. I am playing the Patreon Fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month, Gorogoa, which is a puzzle-style game from what I am told. So I am looking forward to that as well. You will be offline after August. I will, however, not capture my subscription. Time to time, I'll comment on our YouTube channel. Oh, really, Tom? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry about that. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that's not. I hope you're doing okay. I'm not sorry. I want to make sure that I'm not, commenting on something out of school. And we always love having you here. So I'm sorry that you're going to be offline and not with us, but hopefully you'll still be checking in with us. That would be cool if you could definitely do that. But I'm sorry to hear that, but also hopefully that everything is okay with you. That's usually what I say when I hear about stuff like that. So I hope you're hanging in there okay, Tom. Okay, so that is the deal with that. But now we have got some stream stuff going on. So I am going to unmute myself and apologize for anyone that I might have interrupted because I couldn't hear them. Oh, I see, Tom. Okay. That's different. That's a different situation. Okay, totally understand that. But yeah, I hope you will continue to comment on YouTube and that you're not a stranger. I hope we'll see you around, maybe even in Discord here and there or whatever, because we would love to continue to have you as part of the community. Okay, with that said, let me just jump over to reveal to you the crew. They are here. At least 3 of them are here today. And it's my great pleasure to welcome them all in. I will mention quickly that LaShawn is not going to be with us for this month. A lot of IRL stuff going on, which is obviously really important. So we are all good thoughts are with LaShawn, and we will welcome her back next month as we go back into things here. But I am joined by the rest of the crew, including someone who could not join us last time. And nothing significant happened. I mean, there was nothing really to worry about. I mean, it was all fine. Everything, Sataria had no issues at all. Um, but it is a great pleasure to welcome Rhiannon back. Good to see you, Rhiannon. How's everything with you? How are you doing? I hope all is okay. And anything you want to tell us about stuff going on your end, and also who you're playing today.
Things are going well. I missed last month for MissCon out in Missoula, so that was a ton of fun. We had a new venue this year.
That's cool.
And did some raspberry picking today. I think we've missed the um, key part of the season, but we got some.
That's good.
Um,
Great.
so I am playing Sataria Verben. She's a half elf healer with no bedside manner whatsoever.
It's a different kind of manner, I guess. We'll
Yep.
say, but always a pleasure to have Rhiannon with us, and we will actually see Rhiannon in person at Worldcon in Seattle in a
Yep.
couple of weeks. So just be all aware if you are in the Pacific Northwest and you're like, should I go to Worldcon? Yes, you should go and
You should.
say hi to us. But always a pleasure to have Rhiannon with us. Also a pleasure, of course, to have the awesome Toya Kristen Finley with us, who, as I noted, although she will not be at Worldcon, she will be at Gen Con, and she will be playing as part of the Gray Shade game, as I mentioned. So I am super excited for that, to have Toya back with us on the live events. That's going to be good stuff. But otherwise, Toya, how are you? How's everything in your neck of the woods and so on? And who are you playing today?
Well, it is 93 degrees in my neck of the woods and and,
Yeesh.
and humid, so it's gross.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't do much this time of year for obvious reasons. And I hate being outside. But I will be playing Nalik, also known as Nals Darkly, who is a human bard. And I'm very interested in getting into more of these rooms now that we have this red security card.
Found the red security card. It's true. I feel like everything lately has been blueprints for anyone who's played that game or knows
Yeah,
anything
please
about
don't
it.
say anything. I still don't
Oh
have it
God,
yet.
I won't. I have.
I haven't
It's
touched that game in a while.
it's quite good, and there are interesting things in which I don't think it, the way that it doesn't click, I think, are interesting even as well. I appreciate its ambition, regardless though. But yeah, I am excited to see what happens with this new security card, because already you've opened a vine covered somehow living room. What could go wrong? As we all know, devastated
A living
starships
room.
are famously safe places for children to play and people to be. It's always a wonderful spot. Anyway, so I'm excited for that. Always a pleasure to have Toya with us. And again, let me emphasize, if you need an editor, a narrative designer, a person with expertise in teaching these things or other related things, or sensitivity reads, or a variety of things, can I strongly advise that you use Toya for all these things, because Toya is good people who is awesome at that and so many more things.
And if you're not sure, just ask.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know, ask, but you definitely should. Toya is awesome. All right. And last but certainly not least with us is one Mr. Zach Clay, who I was saying, it's so funny with this group. So Toya, Zach, and I will be at Gen Con, but not Rhiannon and LaShawn. Rhiannon, LaShawn, and I will be at Worldcon, but not Toya and Zach. So I'm the common element. I'm the linchpin right there,
You
basically.
are.
But I'm very much looking forward to seeing Zach next week. As Zach comes to Gen Con for the first time, is sort of unbelievable. Like, just took
Who
you
would've
long
known?
enough. But finally, you're coming to Gen Con and you will see the power. How are you doing, man? How's everything going on your end of the world? And who are you playing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm an uncle now, which I think I talked about in our vocalists, but maybe not in the last expedition. Maybe I did. I don't know. So I'm an uncle. That's cool.
Congratulations on that.
Congrats.
Yeah, and I'm at my brother's house at the moment, so that's been nice seeing the wee lad. And then yeah, going to Gen Con, it's gonna be great. Otherwise, yeah, no, just been I have the summer off from some of my main clients, but they've all been emailing me like, hey, August, September, we all want to restart.
It's
So
back
I
to
basically
school or
just,
back to D&D
yeah,
in this case. Yeah.
literally, honestly. So
Yeah.
all, when you run D&D for a lot of kids, especially, they go off and do, summer camps and stuff like that, because I don't really run a summer camp or that kind of thing out here, or they have their vacations or whatever. So anyway, I've had the summer off and been using it for some professional development and just enjoying some time off. And so yeah, just been chilling. but I'm excited for Gen Con next week and for Expedition at this moment, where I am playing Dr. Juraxis, who is a Themdis cybermancer, and exploring ships is his specialty.
Very, very cool. 2 quick notes about that. Remember, chat, if you cheer tonight using bits in your Twitch chat, that money gets gathered together, and then I can distribute it among the players who are playing tonight. So that money will go to them. I want to try to enhance that program as I can over the next months. So consider that. Secondly, just as a response to what you said, Tom, of course I would play an adventure and Unlimited Adventures that you made. And if I told this group already, so I hope they'll indulge me. 3, I promise, I'll make this super fast. I found this out the other day. Echo Alpha told me about it. Neverwinter Nights 2, the new enhanced edition, has a list of 5 campaigns that you can play. 4 of them are the main campaign and then the 3 official sequels that came out back in the day. And the 5th one is The Third Sign, based on my first novel back in 2009. And I was like, Echo, did you download that? He's like, I swear I didn't. That's the only one that comes with the game that's from the community group, is that game, that module. And I was like, holy crap, that's so cool. So anyway, and I'm totally going to be talking to developers and be like, hey, you know what? There's other books that came from, so if you'd like to bring this one back into print. Anyway, I was very excited about that. So just saying, Tom, I'm in the definitely play community stuff mode for stuff like that. Absolutely. All right. Let us, for these wonderfully patient players, get into our stream today. I'm going to fire up a little bit of music. Let me see. I think we were looking at was it Derelict? I thought I had a Derelict spaceship here. Yes, I do. Derelict freighter. Outstanding. It does exactly what it says in the tin. All right. Let's head over to the map and let's talk a little bit about what happened in our last session. The crew has entered the ruined ship Centurion, and they've come here for 2 reasons. The first is that this is the place where apparently, well, first of all, the people who live on the planet of Thalos know very well that it was this ship that created a massive change in the planet's sort of historical progress and so on, because it introduced all this technology into that planet with potentially devastating consequences in certain cases, but it was certainly enormously consequential. And apparently some of what is going on Thalos right now, including the appearance of these cultists of light, these leaders being taken over mentally by creatures called the Keratin, some of that may have its sort of genesis in this particular ship. And so they have come for that reason. But Juraxis has come here in addition because it is somewhere within here that this beacon, which first started going off, that summoned people from outside the Silrain, or outside this planet in the Silrain arc, to come here because there would be hopefully fabulous wealth and power that would be found within it. And one of those examples is right here on this ship. And so for those reasons, thank you for the gift sub, Tom. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Thank you. TR Madrid, welcome to the channel. And thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate that. But that has basically brought both groups, the spacefaring ones and the non-spacefaring ones, to this ship. They have managed to get through much of the first floor or the first deck of the ship so far, but they've discovered, number one, that a lot of the doors are sealed off by a variety of different color key cards, which they did not have any of until just about now, which I'll explain in a minute, and then also ran into some apparently automated security drones and things like that, which the party managed to destroy. But the party also found the captain's log of this, a sort of doomed captain's log that explained that there was some weird thing that was either growing, some bio life form or something like that, which had infected potentially the ship and or potentially other aspects of the systems of the ship. And the last thing that came from this was her saying that she was going to go down to check this out herself. And that log entry, I believe I said, dated from something on the order of 300 years ago. So pretty good guess that you can't save her now, you think. But it does mean that you are still dealing with some mysterious entity that had some impact upon the ship. The party was able to find, however, a red key card last time, which is supposedly the card that is going to open the security doors. They went down to the bottom westernmost portion of the ship, as you can see there on the map. There was a red key card, and when they opened it up, they found this strangely living room, vines and greenery and plants and things like that, in a ship which, although it does have its sort of general basic life support system still functioning at a low level, it's a spaceship. It's supposed to be like metal and buttons and gears and things like that instead of this sort of living vines. And so the party decided, you know what, we are going to go check out other portions of the ship before we go into the vine room. I don't know why they were concerned, but and so they took a short rest and then headed off to the east. And as they headed off to the east, I mentioned that the camera showed a vine pulling back out of the door as the door closed. Bum, bum, bum. So we'll see what the impact of that is. So now that brings us back to where we are now. The party, I think, said that they wanted to go up to check out what might be other of these security doors and see if the card would open those. And also, Dr. Draxus mentioned that over here, the party had not either gone and checked out this area yet, but there's another, metal door that presumably could be opened over on that side of the ship too. The last thing I'll mention is that Raven in particular has basically run off and is kind of just sort of crouched in a corner. Raven is having a bad time, has been very traumatized by some of what she has seen here, according to her. And so at the moment, she is not appearing in this picture. It'll be up to Nulls and to Sataria and Jaraxxus to continue to explore the decks of this ship for this session. So with that said, I will hand things back over to the party. What would you all like to do?
Well, there is a very available security door that is red.
Yeah.
Who has the card on them, by the way?
I don't remember who has that, actually. It's a good question.
We'll say that I do.
All right.
Okay. Or do you, as your pocket's
Or
been
do
ripped
I?
out? The
Oh, wait a minute,
vine,
wait,
the vine has
wait
the
a minute.
card.
I can answer this question. Yeah, okay, so I have the green one, I believe, because when we were in that other area that got closed off, and it was like a murder box until we found a way to escape out of it, I'm the one who opened it. So I do have the green card.
Oh, that's right. I think you have a green one, and in the green room is where you found the red one, right? So you
Right.
actually have green and red, I believe.
Yeah.
But you do not have blue
Right.
yet. Okay.
Okay.
Gotta collect them all.
Yeah, exactly. Got to draft a new room. Okay, so if you're heading up there, you folks can move all of those. Gamork will follow you all. Raven's going to stay in that corner. And Sataria, are you heading up? I see you down on the left side. Are you heading up here?
Oh, yeah,
too?
sorry.
That's
It just wasn't moving me yet.
That's fine. Just making sure. Okay. So that, again, is a door that has the red sort of glowing, familiar panel outside that opens apparently with a red key.
I hold up the key card and look back at everyone, say nothing, and insert the key card in. This is one of those starts to the episode where it just resumes from last time. No dialogue yet.
Right, exactly. It's just the big credit roll before.
Yeah. The opening credits are being shown like old classic Star Trek in this moment.
A show that is way before Zach's time, but there's
I
a
love
Chips freeze frame where, like, dude, like, which used to be the big joke. They would do a freeze frame and then they would come back from commercial and unfreeze it again. It was very goofy. Okay, so when you open this up, this is what you are going to see. Okay. I want to make sure I don't open too much. Big fan of this whole series, but the maps, I think, does sort of leave a little to be desired. Okay, so as you open this up, you can see that inside, just from the door as it opens, zoom, slides open, and you can see that the walls of this area are filled with what you, Jaraxxus, would recognize as these data panels and storage servers. You can see sort of numbers kind of still blinking on the screens. What you, Sataria, and Null see are a series of these strange kind of mirrored, for want of a better term, surfaces, I guess, that have these sort of lines that are continually refreshing. So they keep moving up like over and over and over again of what looks like gobbledygook to you. And there are also in here several tables that are spread about the room. Each one of them also has this strange kind of square, sort of square, but with a sloped back leading into the table. That again has one of these screens, which again, Jaraxxus, you would recognize as a data terminal. It looks like as well, and you can't tell until, like, if any of them are working or not, but you can definitely see a few like lines occasionally moving up the screens, and that's all for the moment.
Okay, I've got a question. Because there looks like there's a giant green pixel just to the left of the red.
That's
block
because,
icon.
and that is because of the nature of the map, which is, as I said, needs work.
Okay.
It's basically trying to cover over a number that I'm trying, that's not helpful. So that's why I will see.
Okay.
Wait, I want to see the number.
No,
You can move the square. I
Never
wanna see the
mind.
number. Oh, okay. Okay. So, computer panels with scrolling text.
yes, a few of them. Not going very often though. Like just a line every few seconds maybe, but not like
Okay.
rapidly scrolling.
Jaraxxus will approach and see if he understands what they're saying.
Okay.
Or-
So, let's see. Right now, you just see essentially a bunch of strange, like, kind of almost like the equivalent for us of like ASCII text or like wingdings, like symbols basically. But they don't correspond with anything that you know. And when you try to like hit some of the buttons, this clearly is in some kind of very low power mode. It's not going to give you anything like this. It's got to be powered. You don't know if you can power it from here or if it has to be powered from somewhere elsewhere in the in this complex or in this region, but they seem to be out of power for the moment.
Jaraxxus sort of shrugs and looks back at the two and says, I don't think anything in here is going to be of much use at the moment, unless you two see something.
Well,
It's your stuff.
you understand this better than we do. We do have yet another red door.
Remind me?
Just up ahead.
Ah, yes, by the lift, right?
Yes.
All right. Jaraxxus will exit out and I guess we'll head to the other red door to the north.
Also, one note, just because it may not be immediately clear on the map, this thing here also is a door which opens with it's not listed on this map, but it also is opened with a red key card. Again, apologies.
Ah,
for
okay. Well,
Oh,
well,
would you
there's
look at
another
that?
red door that's just around the bend. Perhaps we should go there first.
yes, apologies, sorry, but it's not, the map is,
I slot in the key card.
okay. It blows up. Haha, I fooled you all. Just kidding. Okay, when you open this up, again, very similar to what you saw in the room that you just left. Again, a bunch of these sort of like screens that you see around the room. However, there is one thing that's different, and that is that there appears to be a door at the southern side of this section. So this room here that you were in before just had itself. It didn't have any doors leading out of it except the one. This one, though, looks very much the same, but there is a door to the south here, which does not seem to be keycarded.
Oh.
And in fact, there's a reason for that, but you'd have to go in to see it, because to see specifically why.
And it also has a giant pixel hovering up a number, apparently.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, it does.
my greatest fear, giant green squares.
You have no idea how long I worked to try to make this mesh.
I
by the
do.
way.
As a fellow GM in Roll20, I do.
God almighty, man.
Jaraxxus will enter the room and seeing the next door, he'll look back and he'll say, all right, let's take bets now. Is there going to be a third door behind this one?
Now, Jaraxxus, when you go in here, though, you notice something about this door. and that is the door has been torn in half. The
Oh.
remaining portion is a slab of twisted, shredded metal. So you can get into the room, but it is
Yeah.
ripped in half. That's why it's not key carded. If there ever was one, it's been destroyed.
His smile sort of fades a little bit. Can he see past the door into the next room? slightly?
Not barely. You think you do see some blinking lights past it, but you can't see anything specific down there yet until you get into the room. It's pretty small, you think. The room.
Is it torn like somebody was coming out, or torn like somebody was going in?
Like someone was going in,
Okay.
or something.
I mean, but then again, 300 years ago.
Right? Yeah. People were stronger then. Maybe.
Well, no, I mean,
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I don't want to meet the monster.
Yeah, I
if it's
know.
still
No,
there, but
seriously.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there. Hi, I've been waiting. No, yeah. Definitely, it's a small enough room. You're pretty confident that you would know if there was a monster in there waiting for you at this point.
Okay, good.
You think?
Just checking.
Yeah.
Okay. Jaraxxus will pick up a gold piece from his inventory and
Okay.
try to flick it into the next room past the door,
Okay.
just to goad any potential thing inside.
You hear the sound of metal on metal, sort of clanking along the floor, and then you get one of those whoop, 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 as it like spins and then flattens out and lands. But you don't hear any other response otherwise.
What could have torn the door open? Are you aware of anything, Jaraxxus?
Well, he'll go closer to the door now.
Okay.
Are there marks left behind, or either like by claws or piston arms or explosion?
Make a, let's see. I guess
Or was
make
the metal just bent?
an investigation check for me, please.
Okie dokie. We'll do that. Here we go. Natural 20, 24.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yes, you notice that there are indeed marks on the outside of these doors, but you also notice what appear to be scorch marks here. If you had to guess, Jaraxxus, you think that not one, but two sets of things tried to rip these doors off their hinges, or off of their, slides, I guess. You believe that something tried to blast the doors open, and then something physically ripped it open, and the ripping part, based on the claw marks you see, do not look like they were synthetic in nature, or at least not mechanical in nature. They look like enormous animal claw marks. But there were also clearly like laser blasts, scorch things on the outside of this too.
Jaraxxus observes this and then looks back and says, well, these are claw marks for sure. And it's not usual that we make drones or constructs with claws like that. So it was...
So, something from our world?
or not your world. I don't know. Actually, wait, that's a good idea. Maybe it was something from this world that after the ship crashed, maybe found its way in. I don't know why they'd be keeping a monster with big claws on their ship.
Yeah,
Unless
the
it
outer door
mutated.
didn't have claws marks, did it? So it couldn't have walked in like we did.
Unless it was already open.
Hmm.
But, well, seems safe.
Maybe one of us should also observe those claw marks, but I think someone should remain outside in case we get closed in again.
I can go.
Okay. So
Investigation check for
sure,
me too.
please.
Okay.
Both sides of the die.
Yeah.
Oh,
20 and 1.
oh
you-
yeah.
Are you sure these doors have been ripped off? Just kidding. Are you sure these are doors? No. Yeah, you don't know. I mean, like the blast marks and the claw marks, once Jaraxxus points them out to you, are clear, but otherwise they look like just sort of hopeless wrecks of metal. One thing that even a check would not be required to see is that whatever did this, though, would have had enormous strength, because it's like you're looking at someone tearing up paper.
Well, can Knowles get a peek?
Sure, absolutely. It's a
Also-
bionic with bare arms. Well, I mean, you know, a bit. I mean, maybe.
So also investigation, correct?
Yes, investigation, please.
Right.
And Knowles, I'm going to give you +2 to this for a reason I will tell you if
Well,
you succeed
8.
at the check. Yeah. You're able to confirm, Sataria, these are definitely doors, but not
Great.
beyond that, though. No, I mean, again, it just very confused. One thing that Jaraxxus, you can tell, these things definitely happened at different times. So I don't just mean within a few minutes. Something like the blast things happened first, as I said, then something ripped the doors open, and they didn't happen within the same, few days. Now, whether it was weeks later, months later, that you don't know, but it definitely didn't happen at the same time.
Okay. Jaraxxus will say as much and then say that sort of maybe supports your theory that the ship crashed and then something came in, but why something so with such power and claws would go into this specific room? It almost makes it seem like it is intelligent, or maybe it was hunting something.
Well, and also, I suppose we should think that anything and everything is still here until proven otherwise.
It seems empty. And Jaraxxus will confidently stride forward
Okay.
into the room.
All right. Just before it slides shut, just kidding. Okay. When you enter the room,
Oh, another green square.
exactly, you find an incredibly elaborate green square. No. When you enter the room, you can see that there is a large display screen, Jaraxxus, that is covering the eastern wall of the room over here. And around the room facing the screen are what look like 4 basically elevated daises on which you have a chair and a terminal. This looks a little bit like what you might have seen on the Sunrider or on previous ships that you've been on, where they look like basically crew stations, right? If you want, you could try to do a check to determine what kind of stations they are, but almost certainly that's what you're looking at here. And in the center of the stations, here in this not very obvious larger pixel, is a large chair with a number of buttons on it, and looks very comfy, and it looks like it's designed to swivel, so it can kind of swivel, east, west, north, south.
Okay. Jaraxxus will say, this seems like either a command center or maybe even the helm of the ship. He'll walk in and see if he can understand the one computer panel to the east.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check. It says space vehicles, but I need to double check on that, whether we actually have a...
There isn't. I'm really good at computers. Skill.
Computers is fine.
Okay. Also astrophysics.
No, computers, I think, for this.
Okay. Why don't I have a extra bonus to that? That's weird. 4 and 3.
Don't forget,
Oh,
chat,
yeah, should be 7.
inspirations are a thing,
Okay.
if needed.
Cool. 17.
Yeah. As you're looking at it, you're pretty sure that the 4 stations, there are 2 tactical stations and 2 engineering stations. And the 2 engineering stations down here have what you would guess is it has has a screen with the same kind of like one line every so often kind of scrolling up the screen that you saw down, further to the south. However, next to it is a glowing red panel looking exactly like the panels that you opened with the key card, the red key card outside. Okay. I assume you're not fist bumping it. You're actually using the key card, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you do that, all of a sudden, you see all of the screens around you come to life, and lines begin to like sort of really quickly scroll up. There are rows of lights flickering along the panel, and a blue-hued light emanates from the glass wall display over here. The dim lighting along the walls and the ceilings grow brighter, and you can see this even outside, where you're standing. I guess, Sataria, you came in, and then did you all both go back out at some point to sort of confirm? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I am. Nels is outside.
Okay, so you would see that in the corridors, I mentioned there was this sort of dim glow that lights up much more brightly now, and so the area now looks as if you're in kind of a vaguely artificial daytime lighting that you can hear. And elsewhere in the ship, you can hear this sort of like things firing up. And you hear a kind of groaning as if the ship is like shifting or moving, or something is shifting somewhere in the ship. I don't mean something living. It's clearly like a mechanical something or other coming from elsewhere in the ship. You've definitely done something, Jaraxxus.
Almost like the ship's kind of waking up a little bit.
Could be.
Is there a does it seem like I can offer inputs to the ship, or like
You think so.
Get it to do something?
You think so, although it's because of your check, you think so, although you're slightly guessing. It's sort of like in the I think it's Star Trek 3, where they're trying to figure out how to run the Klingon ship, and they're like, that's got to be the engineering, like that's the warp drive, that's got to be this, and they're like, so it's a little bit of that, but you think you can get it sort of closely enough that you could figure some of that out. Yes. And there are a few different options available to you. There's an option that talks about turbo lifts, roughly, so there's that. There are options about decks, like the various crew or ship decks. There are options that make reference to security terminals and security. And there is a message flashing on the wall display that reads "System Offline." And that keeps kind of blinking over and over again. But that was not there before you put the security card in.
So is it right now? It's just Sataria that's in the room with me.
I think so, right? Because Nulls is back outside.
Jaraxxus will turn to Sataria and explain all the different functions that he could select. So one was the turbo lifts, decks, system offline, and then one other one that I already forgot. And he'll say, "You were a magician in training. What was your?"
I was studying healing
Oh,
medicine using
Oh.
my magic.
you're still a student. You choose. Which these should we do first?
Well, you called you mentioned the turbo lifts outside, and we couldn't get in, so maybe we should do those so we can get into them, seeing as we're trying to explore more places.
Very smart. You see, Jaraxxus he has this little recording unit thing that's on the side of his visor. He kind of pulls it off so that it is looking at him. He says, "Let it be said, Jaraxxus is also a teacher." And he puts it back and will attempt to like activate the turbo lift. If it becomes obvious like what he can do with it, he wants to turn them on.
It
for,
looks
open
like,
access.
yeah, it looks like it can. If you're correct about this, what it tells you, and I'm going to reveal a little bit of an area here that you're able to see from the map. I apologize if this isn't quite accurate, but it'll be close. I should just change it to jump gate and stop messing around. Jump gate on Roll20 is much better. Anyway, okay, there is another turbo lift here that shows up on your map. That is the Western turbo lift. So you have the Eastern turbo lift, which you've already found, which was inactive. There's the Northern one that you found up here, which was inactive. The Eastern one, which was inactive, and the Southern one you came through to begin with, right? So what you're able to figure out, Jaraxxus, is that it looks like most of the decks on the ship are now inaccessible, or sealed off, or just like, broken into and not, can't get to them. But there are 2 decks that are not like this. From what you can tell, this turbo lift, the east one, and the western one, which you think you've now made function or can make function, lead down to what is described as the research deck. And the north one over here leads down to what is described as the engineering deck. That's what it says about the turbo lifts.
Lead down to research, and then the north one leads to engineering.
Engineering.
Okay. Jaraxxus says that, and it seems like I've activated them.
It appears to be, yes.
Okay.
If you're reading it properly.
All right. Jaraxxus will say, all right, that was good. Let's see. This one's talking about system offline, and he'll poke that.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be doing anything other than just it just says system offline. But it does have a glowing sort of light next to it, which you think is probably power. Like it was in that low power mode, and now the power mode, now the power is on. As I mentioned, this looks very similar to the ones that you found in the southern and the northern parts of this room. The northern part, that's this one here, and then there was the southern part over here. They had those things which were in low power mode. You've at least turned on the power to this one. You don't know if that affected this and this or other rooms on the ship or not.
Okay. And the other options were the decks and then one other thing, right?
Yeah, so the decks were the ones that told you about which decks were available.
Okay.
And I mentioned the turbo lifts. And then the system offline is basically, those are, I think, the 3 things that I mentioned.
So just 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so it seems like we did everything that we have access to at the moment.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. Okay. Jaraxxus will say, all right, well, in the decks display, does it display or tell us like what all of the decks on the ship are? Like, is it just...
Yes, you see several ones that say things like crew quarters. There is one that says like maintenance. That seems to be the lowest one potentially. There is one of them that says something like, you can't quite tell if it says recreation or like training. It's a little confusing, like the word may mean the same thing or whatever, or be similar in another language. It's like you're reading an old dialect that kind of comes through, but it seems
Latin.
Yeah, it's sort of like ye old like exercise facility or something like that. But all of those indicate through just sort of like a solid red light that they are not accessible for whatever reason. The ones that are green are those 2 decks that I mentioned, and that was the research deck and then the engineering deck. But the crew quarters one, the maintenance one, the whatever this training thing is, those are inaccessible.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, that gives us some access to more places beyond. Let's go make sure Malik and our wolf friend are still okay.
In the meantime, Knowles, while this has been going on and you've been out there, I know you've been looking to make sure that like no one else is coming or whatever else. You did notice, as I said, the lights go on, so it's much brighter out here, and Gamork kind of growls a little bit at that. Are you doing anything else just while you're waiting for them? You don't have to be. I just want to make sure.
No, I don't. Well, Knowles is not aware of anything else to be done at the moment besides to wait.
Okay, that's fair. So then when you see your companions emerge, you could, now they have emerged looking none the worse for wear.
The turbo lifts are working now, thanks to wonderful student Setaria, of course. And they would provide access to the engineering and research decks, depending on if we go east or west or north.
Research
Well,
sounds more dangerous.
yeah, I was about to say, I don't have a great feeling about any of this, but I really do not have a great feeling about research, considering what we know might be lurking down there. Engineering. Now, what would that be on a ship like this?
Uh, Likely it would be the ship's power and how it's distributed. Correct, Dungeon Master?
That is what you would assume. Yes, that's generally what the engineering sections are on
And
these ships.
So
ship's
we could
health.
get more access to the ship through engineering.
In a way, we could power things that are being finicky, or perhaps even get the ship to move. Probably not, but that's where we would address any problems if the ship was. It's like the pumping heart of the ship.
As Bit points out, you could even break life support there.
Right.
So many options.
I say we investigate the rest of this deck. We haven't even seen more than half of it yet. I'm also still trying to find there's information here that it still hasn't made itself clear. Part of the reason why myself and my old companion we even came here is because of a distress beacon from this ship that so far I haven't seen. And the beacon promised more information. It wasn't just a call for help. It seems strange enough for us to want to go out and research or communicate with it.
Well, and we also know that there are those blue locked doors, and if we found the green and the red here, there's no reason to think the blue can't be that far behind.
Mm-hmm. So, shall we continue exploring?
Yep.
We shall.
So we should think about uh, when we want to end for a day to rest and eat, and so we just don't continue forever.
This is true.
Well, can we safely close these doors? You did say they are security areas.
Am I able to use on a key carded door? Am I able to like lock it?
You think you could probably seal it again? Yes.
Okay. Draxus will do so when we leave this room, although he says, not like any danger is going to come from that room, at least not anymore. But actually, he'll leave it unlocked, and he'll say, if we're being chased by something, I'd rather this be unlocked and ready for us to run in first. And he'll say, okay, were we going to go to that north door, the north red one, or somewhere else?
We should go to the north red one.
Okay. We walk.
Okay. So, as you walk up here, I'll bring us over to that. You can see that this lift here is now, ignore the fact that it's glowing red, this is now glowing green. And the little grate that was sealed in front of it is now open. So just letting you know that.
Great.
Otherwise, though, when you get to this area here, you see the same red glowing card. So you're gonna open it then, I guess, in the same way?
I do the thing.
Okay, so okay. When it opens, you see something little strange, which is that there is what looks like here a kind of I guess it's be a little bit hard to describe. It looks almost like there were tables and chairs in here. You remember the conference room that was over, I think, here, that had been sort of ripped apart, and like there was a big signs of a battle, like a space battle of some kind, of laser battle. In here, you don't know whether there's stuff that's that, but it's very clear that a lot of stuff, in addition to having several robot limbs and machine parts that are sort of scattered about, you also can see here that a lot of the room has had, as you're looking at it, things ripped out of it. And I mean not destroyed, like taken. Like there were obvious screw holes, Jaraxxus, where clearly there would have been something to, like, maybe it's a table or a chair or something like that were sort of like screwed in. Those have been taken. You know, maybe thieves have come in here over the last 300 years and just ripped it for parts, you know, basically stripped it down. So that's the thing you notice about that area. But then also there is this corridor. And down the corridor, you can see that there are a series of, especially lower down, some doors that lead to maybe something else. Long hallway littered with debris.
Okay. Seems safe. Love me a long, ominous hallway.
Yeah, you see a very glowing laser light at the end of it. I'm just kidding. Okay.
a red lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly.
Activates.
And you see a fist close. And, okay. Nullis and Sataria, are you following after, or are you staying out there?
I'm following a little duckling at this point.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get to learn more things.
Okay.
Going to hang out a little just in case. I'm not sure why I can't grab my thing. Nope.
Can you? It should be.
There we go.
Okay.
I was using the wrong
Okay.
cursor.
Gamork is going to hang with you here, and is sort of sniffing around the door and looking around. Doesn't look like agitated, but just, you know, head on a swivel, so to speak. Okay. Down this way, then. You enter kind of a large, almost like a, I guess, sort of a T-junction. And you can now see that there are some doors visible on these passageways that extend east and then north and west and then north, and also down here. And these are all much more brightly lit now. Not dimly lit, but pretty brightly lit at this point. And this goes down fairly far. Over, like, here. Okay. I think that's about what you'd be able to see from there.
Interesting. Okay. East or west? Or south?
East.
Great.
Okay. So, as you walk up this hallway, you can see a number of these rooms have doors which are now open. And in many cases, these also look like they have been destroyed, but not by claws. These look more like they have been blasted off of their sort of slide, their rails, so to speak. And so in a few of the ones that you can see from the outside, this might have been like a personal crew quarters or something like that. Might have been there, but it's been stripped basically again for parts. This all seems to be destroyed. There's lots of debris on the ground, I should mention. And so theoretically you could, like, you can't just see it by walking past it. You would need to actually go in there to see if there's anything special. But these all look to be basically, like, if you had to guess, crew quarters of some kind or another.
All right, should we do a little dig through of this area? Are there any, like, remains, or is it just debris?
You see, from the doorways as you're looking, all you see are a few of those mechanical, like, robot parts and stuff like that. But that is just standing in the hallway. There's lots of scattered debris of metal and different things. So if you looked underneath it, you might find something more.
Dibs on any bodies.
Be my guest. Okay, I guess we'll spend a little bit of time seeing if, I mean, we found one of these key cards on, or something valuable on some old corpse, I think.
That's true.
But
okay, give me please an investigation check, please.
okay. Jaraxxus will float a little guidance drone over to Sataria to give her guidance. Oh dear.
Uh-oh. Oh,
You get an extra
jeez
D4
Louise.
for what it's worth. See if you can hit 5. And then I'll roll investigation.
Definitely rooms, Sataria. You have seen rooms before, and these are
Nat 20 again.
absolute. Jeez, you're like, I think they're
20,
rooms.
10.
And
Well, it makes sense that Jaraxxus would be the one who'd
That's
figure
true.
things out.
Jaraxxus is like,
Yeah.
this was manufactured in the
That's
Arenthian
useless,
system.
Sataria. You can put it down.
Yeah. That was
I was
made.
hoping there would be like parcels or something that Sataria could zoom in on.
It's
but
funny you
the
should
dice
mention
think
that.
no.
It's funny you should mention that because in this far room right here, you do not find, but Jaraxxus does, underneath a pile of debris, you find skeletal remains. Definitely skeletal remains, and also a vial of some kind. You're not familiar with what this liquid is, but it appears to be in a kind of it does not look like it's in a kind of test tube or anything. It looks like it is in some kind of a glass vial, an old school glass vial, which has miraculously avoided breakage. Maybe whatever happened to this person, they were buried underneath this debris, and then that protected whatever this thing was from being destroyed. But there is an intact vial of liquid. It seems to have a cork in it.
This is on this person's body?
Correct. Well, I mean, the body is basically just, more or less like ribs and bones and stuff like that. So,
Skellington.
yeah, calling it a body is a little bit of a stretch
Okay,
at this point.
sure.
But yeah, it's in the same. It's not in its rib cage, but close.
Jaraxxus will step aside and say, Satoria, I found your favorite thing.
So does
Yeah.
the
go ahead.
vial mean anything to Sataria as far as like a potion or
Yes, almost certainly. You're very convinced that almost certainly this is a vial which comes from. It basically looks like a vial for potions that you have seen or used yourself, which means it is definitely Thalesian in nature. Like, this does not look spacefaring of any way. This looks like just a vial. If you were to uncork it, Sataria, you could probably get a better sense of what's in the vial, but there is definitely some kind of liquid, and it's definitely not space-oriented.
I'm not going to drink it, but
Right.
I will do the waft thing.
Sort of teft. Almost positive it is a potion of greater healing. Sataria, you've seen these before.
Can I just like put it in my bag?
Absolutely. Sure.
Okay.
Oh, wait, what was it? You just sniff it and put it away?
It's a potion. It's for healing. So when I'm out of spells, then
Perfect.
I
There you
could
go.
pour it down somebody's throat.
Hopefully not aggressively. All right. Knowles, how are you doing? Have you been looking through bodies as well?
Knowles is outside
Can
right
they
now.
hear me?
No. Knowles is outside the entire room, so you need to be like,
Knowles?
Knowles! You need to call
Knowles?
him.
Jaraxxus will exit out and look for Knowles.
Okay.
Are you still like all the way back before the red door?
Knowles
Oh,
and
yeah,
Gabork
I'm
have
standing-
vanished. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm standing outside of the red door, so if
Oh,
anything happens,
Jaraxxus.
you get trapped.
Jaraxxus will walk back and say, We're good. We found Sataria found the potion. There's a skeleton. We're fine. We've been looting rooms. I'm sorry.
So you've been through everything down there.
No. I just was looking around and realized you hadn't followed yet.
Oh, well, you were in a close call, and so were all of us, except for Raven a while back, so I just figured I'd hang outside here in case you need help.
That's very smart. I think it should be fine to move up at least a little bit. And in fact, it would be safer if you didn't so.
Well, I'll come down the hall.
Gabork growls and follows.
We were going to go this way now, probably.
And I will reveal
More rooms.
More rooms and the same condition as what you already found. These look to be, there's probably 20 of them, I think, if I count that properly, or close to it. So a lot of these same rooms, maybe crew quarters, like I said, or something like that, Draxus.
Draxus will see the same thing, and his shoulders kind of slump, and he says, I'm not the young dentist that I used to be. I can take a turn with Gamork if you two want to search these rooms.
Well, we'll call you if we find something we don't understand.
Sure. Draxus will poke his head into the first room, and just like the random debris that is in this first room, he'll point at stuff and it will be like, none of that isn't useful, that isn't useful, so if you see it, throw it away, that isn't. And then he'll step back, and he'll cast guidance on Sataria as she moves forward.
Okay. All right, so if Nals and Sataria are doing this, are you doing the same kind of search of the room, like of this side that you did on the eastern side, or is that your plan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm focusing on bodies again because we need the key card. That's why.
No, I mean clearly. So go ahead and make an investigation check for me. I guess each of you can do that. Sataria,
I'm going to cast.
Go ahead, Nals.
I'm going to cast guidance on myself.
Okay. So both of you then have guidance as you're working through things. All right, so go ahead then and make that roll. Sataria, I assume you're using the guidance for that?
Yeah, I'm just going to,
And the
rather
same
than
Nals?
trying to make it do it, I'm just going to do it manually.
Okay.
So that'll be 13.
13. Okay, and then Nulls, you've got that 6. Do you want to use the guidance or no?
Yeah. So just go again, right?
Yeah, just no, you do the 1d4 for the guidance, right?
Oh.
Or is it 1d6? It's 1d.
It's a D4.
It's d4, yeah.
Much better.
Not much better. Did it?
Nah.
Okay, 8. Yeah, basically more of the same, Nulls. Sataria, you would say also that is the case. You don't find any other skeletal remains, and it occurs to you that given how long ago this ship was originally destroyed and so forth, you'd think it would be a little bit unusual for skeletons to have survived like this in some form, or at least the better way to put it is either all of them would have or none of them would have. So that suggests to you that this skeleton you found is newer and younger than the other stuff.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because I was going to go to Draxus, like, why does your people have our potions? But if it's not your people, then...
Yeah, it looks like it's more recent.
Well, wait a minute. So if this person is newer, can we tell, if they're from this planet or not?
I will let Sataria make a medicine check to try to determine this.
Let's see if the dice hate me as much on that. Oh, and I have a better
Let
modifier.
me guide
so.
you.
Jeez.
Well, maybe I didn't need to.
There we go.
So you're like,
See, I got to be in my wheelhouse. Apparently.
exactly. You're like, this half elf was born in the 3rd province of the you. I hope Satari's making a rich bone broth. Jeez, bit too soon. 100 years plus. No. So yeah, Sataria, almost certainly this creature is Thalesian. If you had to guess based on the bones that you're able to assemble, and I think it's hilarious that I'm doing this talking to an archaeologist, but you would basically, you think, able to assemble enough of the bones there that you sort of assemble the rib cage, and it was definitely humanoid. Probably not incredibly thick ribs, so it might have been not a kid, but maybe like a young or maybe like a teenager, older teenager, or young, like 19, 20. It's hard to say exactly. But a humanoid creature, possibly elven in nature, though not certain. But you do know as you assemble it that you think you know the cause of death because the ribs are completely crushed in on the left-hand side. So something hit this thing and crushed them. Now, it's unclear if it was a creature or if it was something that fell on top of them because there was so much debris in here that it's possible that that could have happened, and then some of the debris is disintegrated over time.
Sure.
But they died pretty obviously violently one way or the other, if you had to guess.
So no skull?
You do not see a skull, but you see the full rest of the body essentially. I mean, I don't know if you want to take the time to assemble the toes or whatever, but
No.
but no, you do see the rest of the torso, so you can get a good sense of the height, like probably 5 feet-ish, 5 foot, mid 5 feet, 5'5", 5'6", something like that. But almost certainly you would guess Thalesian, only because you've seen other bones and structures like this before, so it's not. It seems pretty much like that, minus all of the debris around it.
Yeah, and to excavate knowledge from my osteology class back in the day, I was asking about the skull because wisdom teeth is sort of the last kind of age thing. For teens, the epiphyses on the bone start sort of basically coming together. So if they're young, but then they're kind of fused, then that gets you into the teens, 20s, but then the wisdom teeth can kind of pin that down.
I adore all of this because that's like happening on a crit hit too.
That's awesome.
But this is that line of logic leads you to this conclusion, Sataria. The skull is missing. Now, you found enough bone fragments and everything else that you know that if you wanted to put together the toes, you could, right? Like all of that other stuff. But the skull is definitively not with those other bones. It has been removed. Like that didn't just get destroyed. It's been taken.
Yeah, I'll tell the others that. There's so much you can tell from teeth, and now it's gone.
Shame, really.
Well, do you think that was on purpose, that someone removed the head?
Well, I wouldn't think that scavengers like the eyes, but you'd think they just kind of pull it to the side and then eat those. I don't know that they would take it particularly.
It's just
also,
interesting that it happens to be missing.
It's so complete. I don't think scavengers definitely got it to it. So I'm thinking somebody took it. Are there cut marks on the top vertebra?
You know what? Yes, you critically yes.
Okay. Yeah, somebody cut it off.
But Sataria, the cut marks are rough. They might be bite marks.
Interesting. So something is biting off the heads, eating the heads?
Yes.
That's awesome.
What if you see Jaraxxus kind of plays out this scenario in his mind, and then I don't like all this gory, deathy, killy stuff. Let's just keep going.
Well, the problem is the gory, deathy, killy may still be in here with us.
I know. There's just something about facing it in the moment is somehow easier than talking about it.
But I also have another thought. This was a Thalesian. It appears that they were a scavenger, perhaps looking for something on the ship and just rummaging about when they met with something very unfriendly.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you had an accompanying theory to that statement.
Well, either that, or there were Thalesians who clearly knew about this ship, perhaps were even doing things on it that they should or should not have been doing.
Arguably, so are we.
Yes, but we're the heroes.
This is true. This is true. You see Jaraxxus taps his head like he's tapping his temple, but you also see the recording unit. It's pretty obvious. Part of a lot of how he acts is that he is this personality, and everything he is doing, he's recording for posterity and celebrity.
There's an area we still haven't searched. Should we mosey on down?
Thank you for the raid to Shadowed Mage. Good to see you, Shadowed. Hey, Drew. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Raiders, to our little ship soiree as we investigate a doomed ship. and her finding nothing ominous at all about it. Thank you so much, Shannon. I hope all's well. Hope you had a good session today. Welcome, Drew, as well. Okay, so a Thundercat stole the head. They would not do that. Okay, Jaraxxus, if you or any of the rest of you. So I've explained what is over there. There is, however, this passageway over here, and as you look again, more of these quarters, but there is one thing that's different. And that is that in here, trying to reveal what I'm supposed to reveal, like that maybe, in here. Okay. So, more of these quarters. In all, you think there are about 20 of these quarters that all look pretty similar. However, in here is what looks like some kind of a communal, it might be a bath or a communal like shower or something like that. Because you can see the remains of, okay, that was very scary. Well, thank you. My daughter has brought me a s'more. You find a s'more.
Ooh.
Thank
That's
you.
what daughters are for.
That's what daughter. Yeah, the
S'mores.
daughter's there to bring you s'mores. It's true. My daughter has just started working, training for work at. It's going to be like a job during her senior year at a place called Grumpy Dumpling, where they do all these like local farmers markets and serve. And the benefit of it is good tips. The boss is nice, and also you get 5 free dumplings per shift. So she's
Cool.
wearing her Grumpy Dumplings shirt in addition to
That's
that.
nice.
So, and she's going to be spending some of that hard-earned cash at Gen Con next week, let me tell you.
Nice.
But
Nice.
so she just said woo.
It ain't gonna be your hard-on cash, am I right?
It's not going to be my hard-earned cash. That's the benefit. Thank you to Grumpy Dumpling for making this possible. Okay, so anyway, so this is like you can see almost like a discoloration on the floor in these areas, and you think the discoloration in these areas probably might have been from something like water or something like that. However, one thing that I want to mention here is that there are several odd marks near what look like, because these all look like basically shower heads on the outside of this little central thing that you see here. And there's handles below, to control the shower. But you see some odd marks sort of underneath these shower heads. You're just standing at the doors. You can't really see much detail about them. But they do seem to be odd marks in a few of these.
Is the monster drinking? It's coming in, going.
Yeah, exactly. And also a 4-headed beast going, no, eating a s'more. It's not doing that.
But there doesn't seem to be any like debris to search through.
No, not in this room.
And these odd marks, do they seem intelligible, or do they just from a glance seem kind of like claws?
You'd have to seem kind of like what?
Like claws.
You'd have to get closer to see. You'd have to go in to look at one of them.
All right. Jaraxxus will go into the shower.
They're not claw marks. In fact, what you see are strange shapes, and I need you to make an investigation check for me, Jaraxxus. They seem to be almost burned onto the wall.
Jaraxxus will tap his guidance drone to give him guidance.
Okay.
I like that justification. His guidance drone. I learned this from Citaria, I think. And then what was I had another cantrip from Nulls.
I think you learned guidance from Nulls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you learned
I think
the
that's
healing
right, yeah.
things from Citaria.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, mending. Yeah.
Yes.
Never mind. Yeah. It's because you also have guidance that I thought. All right. 22.
Wow, I guess you learned pretty carefully.
Yeah.
Jaraxxus, you are pretty confident that what you're looking like is the scorch mark of a torso. You think something was vaporized or disintegrated in this shower.
It's a common occurrence.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I... Jaraxxus will call out and say, something was vaporized in the shower. And then he'll try to, like, his guidance drone will shine a spotlight, and he'll try to recreate like Detroit becomes.
Oh,
Become
or
Human
like
style.
Batman Detective Vision.
Yeah,
like,
he's gonna try to put into what happened here. I recently played Detroit Become Human. Amazing game, by the way.
Very good game. Yeah.
Going to try to position myself where this thing was standing, and he's going to try to figure out if this was a, like a laser blast, or if we're dealing with something like a dragon that like breathed fire or something like that.
Okay, make let me see. Oh man.
More, I mean, investigation is kind of putting the pieces Sherlock Holmes style, but otherwise
I think
xenobiology.
I think with that roll, I think that's enough for me to give you this information.
Okay, great.
Almost certainly you would say mechanical, like a laser blast in nature.
Mhm.
But the fact is the shape, once you figured out what it is perfectly this, meaning that like it wasn't like someone was moving and trying to get away. It's like they were there
Ooh.
using it and suddenly kablam from behind them or something.
Okay. Interesting. Does this seem older or more recent in the sense that does this scorch mark seem like it's from the ship's stuff, or does
It seems
seem
older.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It does
okay.
seem older. Like just from the nature of it. A lot of the sort of scorching is as sort of decayed even over time and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Draxus will inform the others
But that's why there's no skeletons, I guess.
of the older stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
The constructs we fought a while back, could they have done something like this?
You asking me that or them?
Them.
Okay.
Well, Duraxis specifically.
And then I will ask you. Yes.
Jaraxis, your guess is that could they have made something to like kind of vaporize someone? Absolutely. Could they have walked in stealthily and done it without anyone knowing? No
Yeah.
chance. Also, they wouldn't have been able to fit in this room either. So it would have had to have been a small drone. You don't know of a small drone with this kind of power.
Yeah.
Although this technology, some of it is not familiar to you.
Sure.
But
Draxus will shake his head and he'll say, "The person wasn't moving. They may have even been using the shower or hiding in the room. It seems like someone else came in and ambushed them, like they didn't see it coming or surprised them or something."
So, this virus that took over, could it have influenced people to turn on each other?
Mm-hmm. I think so, or maybe someone. I mean, in the way you said influenced, what if they found out someone on the crew had this virus, but it hadn't become violent yet or something, and they jumped the gun, literally. They decided to attack the person before it could become a problem. I don't know.
So, viruses, chompy things, clawy things, gory things. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Let's just say people who watch this later are going to love it. Can I assume that while Draxus was in the shower, that the others, would you guys have checked out this little alcove right here, or
We
gone
have
into
not done
this?
that, no.
Okay. Or you could say that you have, unless we
Yeah,
all went into the shower.
I think Satari would keep going. I mean, my investigation has
Do
not
we-
been doing well, but
Do we need to look in here?
I mean, it's a spot we haven't checked.
Yeah.
Draxus will. Yeah, and Nolik will check this little.
okay. Same as before with the other quarters. This one looks a little bit like, because it is open, This might have been like a lounge. You can see what might have been the remnants of a couple of the sort of larger chairs, but long since devastated and destroyed. And otherwise, again, more of the sort of metal and robot parts on the ground. And again, no skeletal fragments. The only things you've seen so far are the one skeleton, which we talked about being from apparently a newer creature, and then the devastated scorch mark things. But there's no skeleton, there are bones, just the scorch marks. So here, just more broken debris.
Okay. We follow after Sitaria.
Okay. And yeah, Sitaria, same deal with all of these quarters up here. This one here is a door leading out to the west, which does not seem to be locked. But it is. But yeah, these ones in here are basically more of the same with the quarters.
We could go out that way when we're done.
Great.
Quick question. Once we find out what's on the other side of the door, would this be a good place for a long rest if we lock that security door up top?
It could be. It might be best to get the rest in before we encounter any more danger. I mean, my futuristic, I won't say superior, magics refresh more frequently than yours, but I understand your need to get some shut-eye.
No, we also need to know what are on these other sides of doors. There's a one down south as well.
All right. Duraxis will help Sitaria with this corridor.
Okay.
Of rooms.
Okay. And yeah, as I mentioned, same kind of description of those ones as well.
No need to make an investigation check.
The investigation check that you've done gives you a pretty good sense of the rest of them, you think.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 20 rooms total.
All right. Okay. Duraxis will just poke open this door just to see.
Yeah, and when it slides open, you can see that there is indeed the end of a corridor over there. There is a turbo lift, which you can see down here, which is now glowing green, like the one up to the north. And then there's also, as you sort of look down there, corridor that extends this way, and there's another corridor heading off to the east.
He'll walk around and say, "Meet me on the other side. Hopefully this loops." And yep, seems like it does
seem to do that.
Okay.
There is, however, a door here to the south.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another door you can see down here to the east.
Duraxis will turn to Nalik and say, "All right, you wish to rest now?"
Well, not in this area since there are so many access points. Maybe the security area we were in before is better.
Mm-hmm. I suppose we can see about collecting Raven. I'll go try to talk to her, I guess. And yeah, I think we're gonna try. I don't know if, as far as like exhaustion or timing, if it's like 1 p.m. and it'd be way too early to try to sleep or something. But
no, it's probably not unreasonable. You can get benefit of one of those within a 24-hour period. So if you want to do a long rest, you could certainly do that. Are you trying to do that inside this room or this room? The ones that this room that was key locked before.
Yeah, both of them were key locked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Duraxis suggests the this one, or these two, I guess.
That's what I was thinking of.
Because it has some controls in it, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you folks want to do?
Yep.
I think so.
All right.
And
so go ahead and move yourselves there, and then you can close down the, Oh, and Duraxis, you're talking to.
Yeah, I'll go.
Like as if in a trance, Raven will follow you to this area, but says nothing.
What we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You might leave out the skeletal remains and the scorch marks, right? I'm sure that's not going to go over well.
Yeah, he probably starts to talk about it, and then for both of their sakes, he stops.
Really interesting. Okay. All right.
We
Are
rest.
as you close the doors there, just a quick question. Are you setting a watch or are you just because you can lock the doors if you wish.
Draxus will say, we could do a watch and be safe, or get some real shut eye for all of us.
I need my spells, so
Then you take a full rest. Maybe I'll sleep. Draxus will sit in the chair in the center of the command room. If
Okay.
anything goes wrong, I can
spin round.
press some buttons. Yes.
All right. So the rest is relatively uneventful. I should note that if you've spent any hit dice, you can get half of your total number of them back. So if you've used any of your hit dice, you could get half of the total number that you normally have back from those. You also restore, spell slots depending on your character, et cetera, et cetera. I will note that as you're sitting in there, now I don't know how many of you, I lived for a while in a log home. And the thing about log homes is that they settle over time. And the wood sort of expands and contracts, so you can literally hear kind of a creaking. And after a while, you just get used to it. Like, it's not actually, the house is not going to fall on top of you. It's just the natural sort of movement of the material of the house. There is something like that in this as well, where you hear every so often like a creaking sound from somewhere, and then like a sort of a, and it's a sort of a metallic sound. And again, presumably the power is turned on, the ship has things going on elsewhere in the ship power-wise, and that's why this is happening. But on occasion, the ship is not made of metal logs, all right? Very funny. But while this is happening, there are occasionally moments where you hear the right, but then you also hear an occasional slam, like something hitting something else. It's far distant. It's nowhere close to where you are, but from somewhere in the bowels of the ship, you occasionally hear this, and then this little vibrating sound vibrating up into the metal floors, which is a perfect spot to take our break. You are watching day 38 of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. I'm so happy to be back in the saddle with this crew as they are continuing to explore this mysterious doomed ship. If you are enjoying this, please make sure to follow us. Please support all of these people in their various writings, etc. Please make sure as well to cheer in chat using bits, not using bit. I mean, because bit is awesome, but you shouldn't use bit. But bits to cheer, and that will be translated into money, which we then shared among the players. If you are enjoying what you're seeing, otherwise, you know the drill. Follow and subscribe to the channel. It's 9:33. We'll take about 7 minutes, I think, and we'll be back at about 9:40, and then we will play until about 10:30 as we continue on. In the meantime, chat, everyone, please hold together and take a break as well, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Hold tight. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back as we move into the as the exploration continues, and in fact enhances and gets even more freaky. We shall see whether all of that comes to pass. But you are watching the awesome crew of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. I am joined tonight by Rhiannon Held and by Toy Christian Finley and by Zach Clay. LaShawn Mwanik is not with us today, but will be back with us next month. Otherwise, we are going to be with you for another 45 minutes. So again, keep those cheers. Make sure to do those cheers. Keep those cheers and subs and all that kind of good stuff coming. Please spread the word. And thank you all for being with us tonight. I hope you were enjoying our totally not at all ominous exploration of this ship. It's fine. Okay. So, you, as the rest comes to an end, you have your spell slots and so forth restored in the ways that we've discussed for your various classes. But nothing is, despite the creaking that I mentioned and the sort of slamming sound, nothing has come to bother you inside the room. You've just been there without anything trying to pound on the doors or anything else. Of course, you couldn't really seal off the inside room because the door was ripped off its hinges, but that outside one you sealed off and nothing has tried to get in there.
Jiraxis. That,
Mm.
unsettling slamming noise. Do you, know how far down that is? I think you said that the ship has levels.
Yes. I'm just enjoying some of this bread. We don't get much of this out in the Silverin Arc, by the way. It's very, very good. Yes. I think my guess would be it's probably down in engineer or research.
Yeah. Is there a way we could find out for sure? You have all this technology that seems to be able to place things.
You would think. He'll go to the computer and like, is there any technology at my disposal to like there's not like a life scanner aboard the ship or...
No, not that you have access to, at least not from here. There may have been at some point a way to access it using knowledge beyond what you have, but you know the basics: opening doors, closing doors, turning on power, turning it off, and so on. But not anything specific about how to determine life support in different places.
Can't really do much from here. It might have to be a in-person sort of thing.
Well, hopefully, if we find this blue key card, things might look a little bit more up for us.
Mm-hmm.
One note, by the way, that Jiraxis and Raven would probably know. This room is awfully small to be an entire mega, like this is a large ship, right? This is a small room to be the entire operation. So it occurs to you that both in terms of location and size, this might have been like an emergency operations room or like an auxiliary control room or something like that. And obviously it functions enough to do certain things, but it probably doesn't have access to everything. The size of it's too small to be really controlling an entire ship like this. This isn't actually the Sunrider bridge is probably about as big as this is maybe bigger than this, and the Sunrider is 1/10 the size of the Centurion. So
okay, all right, well, another day, another exploring an ancient creepy ship. And Jiraxis will say, shall we?
We shall.
All right, I'm zooming out of the map. All right, where are you folks headed?
Down to this area where we have not.
East or west? Because you haven't been here, and you've only been to the little part of here. So, and also you haven't been here, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead, Noli. Do it.
Well, since we were over to the east before and never went down there, let's head back over there.
Yeah.
Down here?
Over this way.
Oh, over this way. Gotcha. Oh, do you mean directly east? Okay,
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
Either one, but yeah.
Okay.
That works.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
right.
So.
And probably goes without saying, but we leave Raven safe and secure in the auxiliary control room.
Okay.
Hard word.
I would say she's there kind of slumped in the command chair, probably.
I say, don't press any buttons.
Okay. She seems to have that faraway stare and does not. Okay. When you open this, and this one does not seem to be key card coded, it reveals a decent sized room. And let me show you more bits of that. Okay. Okay. Specifically, what you see inside here is there's a large common room, which has, if you can, okay, just making sure I'm not revealing stuff I'm not supposed to be, which seems to have a, if you had to guess, like this looks like maybe again a lounge, but a much sort of nicer lounge than the one that you were in before. And there is what might be sort of like a I don't know, like a cafeteria of some kind, if you had to guess. And there are a number of these. I guess the best way to describe them would be almost like lounge chairs, basically. Let me see if I can reveal some of that. Yeah, it goes up like this. Actually, because this is not really shut off, so I will put this. I will reveal this like this. So this is a very, very large area. The thing that's most noticeable about this area, at least initially, is the fact that most of the furniture that you can see here seems to be intact. You don't immediately see anything of value, although you haven't started to explore the room. But whereas before there was lots of debris and lots of stuff everywhere and so on, you don't think that that's the case in this situation. Like it doesn't look like stuff may very well have been, in fact, probably was stripped for parts, but you don't actually see anything in terms of debris or laser blasts or, any of that stuff. That sort of characterized other rooms. And I should also mention that there is, let's see, this right here has a pretty large display screen, very large, and then there are more of these sort of lounge chairs sitting around here and here that are fitted with electronic parts. And Jaraxxus, this might seem a little familiar to you. It would seem familiar to Raven if she were here, but it might seem familiar to you. What's your passive perception?
Not the best. It is a 12.
Okay. What's everyone else's passive perception? And are you folks, I know, Nulls, you've been staying outside in these things. Are you staying outside again, or are you coming inside the room?
I will come inside.
Okay. And Sataria, what about you?
I'm coming in. My passive perception is 15.
My passive perception is 18.
Okay. Nulls and Sataria, I'm going to tell you something in a minute. I would like a computers check, Jaraxxus, from you, please.
My pleasure.
Because some of these chairs have headsets. Aha, a headset.
What is this?
Definitely a headset. You don't know for what, but
I've never encountered this before, he says as he scratches his headset on his head.
exactly. What? This is an entirely new technology. But Sataria and Nulls, when you come down around here, and you're looking into some of these things, these all look to be like sort of lounge chairs, but they all have like their own individual display screens. This one, as I said, is a sort of much larger display screen. But all of these have seats that have these screens, which you see as like, as I said, sort of these mirrored surfaces like you saw elsewhere in the ship. But there is one thing, which is you see something that looks like basically like earmuffs, these two things that fit kind of over your ears, and then something that's like kind of curves down in front of your mouth. However, there is also on each of these things like on the front of it is almost this stylized, it almost looks like a face guard to you. And Nulls, you've seen something like this before. This looks like the face guard that is worn by the Light of Aoth guards, the ones that you saw on way up in Camria when the attack happened from the Primarch and all that stuff and his guards. Their face masks look very similar to these headset face masks. Not identical, but they have a striking resemblance.
Jaraxxus, I've seen something like this before. Not necessarily the same things, but the guards that we saw in Cambria, they were wearing these. Very similar in structure. And if you could tell me about the function, maybe we'd be able to understand exactly what their abilities are. Do you know what these do?
Oh, now that you've pointed it out, they do seem like they'd go on your head. This whole time I thought this was... Well, never mind. He'll walk forward. So I failed my computer check to recognize what these are, but with
that, I will give you another chance at that because that new information has been given
Okay.
to you from
I will-
Satari and Nulls.
Let me
Guide.
literally guide him since
Okay, great.
you know,
Yes, great,
I
great,
just gave him that information.
learn from the master. Okay, a 16
Okay.
this time.
And you're using that was counting the guidance. Okay.
It was.
Yeah, you think you have seen something like this before, Jaraxxus, but it looks to you like antiquated versions of sim units. Now, for those of you who don't know, a sim unit is basically like a personalized entertainment system. You put it on, and then you, imagine if anything by Meta didn't suck. That would basically be what this looks like. You have this sort of three-dimensional image in front of you. It broadcasts to you not only music, but also visuals and sound and all this stuff. You can't imagine it. That's fair. That's fair bit. I agree. It is a very difficult. Imagine a world in which Meta is not garbage. But anyway, so you can sort of see this kind of three-dimensional deal, and that you're almost positive that that's, as you're looking at it again, that's what these are, although they are much older than the ones that you're familiar with. But it's kind of in the same, because these are wired, and they're like a little bit more clunky, but they're in the same ballpark of that sort of technology.
Interesting. I possess something that's far more modern version of this. This just helps to connect you with people that are wearing the same thing. You can see, in some cases, what they are seeing, or have a message broadcast to you, or communication. It's all things I can already do, although I'm a bit in the dark out here. And then
These messages are in the ship, outside of the ship?
He narrows his eyes and he says, well, no, they connect, at least in my age, or the age that we live in the Silray Narc now. You can connect a sim unit to someone from an entirely different planet, which makes me think I have been... He kind of paces around these machines. This whole time, I have been disconnected from the Silray Narc. No ability to network or broadcast anything. This is the first evidence I have seen, and then you're saying too that there's a modern version of this being used by your people.
I've
Maybe.
definitely seen them.
This is a little bit of a lead.
But were they using them for the same purpose? Because I look at it and it looks like armor. And so if I was going to make some armor, I might just make it look like that. But it sounds like its purpose is not armor in its original form.
Right.
So is it just made to look like these?
We've run into some very interesting magitech. Let me just put it that way.
GM, when we fought the people who were operating the drill,
Right.
and we found those masks that they were wearing.
Yes.
And you said that those masks looked like masks that someone had seen before. Are
Same,
these also?
reminiscent of those, yes.
So-
Again, reminiscent. They're not identical. That's important to define, but they do the way that the design of them, the sort of measure of them, reminds you a little bit of that. In fact, let me see if I still have a
almost
picture.
like a stormtrooper versus clone trooper helmet.
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
I could see that. Is that one? Yes. Okay. So I just went back to the if you pop up the Twitch stream for a moment. That's what the cultists wear, right? And the mask that these headsets look vaguely like that. Now they don't cover the whole face, and they don't have the same sweep in the nose, and they don't have obviously the hood or anything like that. But it does look somewhat familiar.
Oh, and Draxus says, you know, this, it reminds me of we encountered these masks actually in the mine.
We did.
And I think we kept at least one.
Yeah,
No, we all kept them.
Yeah.
Which means Sataria would have seen that too. I forgot about that. Nulls,
Yeah.
of course, knows it from the Camry attack.
From
but this one,
before.
yeah.
Draxus will produce his mask. And I remember when we got these that they essentially, like, we even tried to leave one person alive, but then their mask like fried them from the inside out.
Yep.
And so Draxus will kind of compare the two, and then he'll say, I think we already have evidence that your world's version of these masks have technology in them. So, and that signals can be sent because this person was killed by their own mask. So, I think we can wager that they didn't just make them for armor.
I wonder, you said you haven't been connected in a long time. If these still work, but at the same time, I don't know what you would be connected to. There seems to be so many things on this ship that corrupted people.
Well, that's true. If there was a virus of people and of computer ship systems, even if I were to find a way to turn this on, I'm not sure it would be wise to use it. Which is very much a shame, because, mind you, if we were able to communicate to the Silverane Arc at large, I could call entire planets worth of armadas to do anything. They could come help us on this planet. They could overthrow the corrupt leader of this floating city you talk about. We could get all sorts of help.
So you have great authority?
Oh, certainly. Oh, yes. I'm well known.
No.
I'm not a military general or anything, but I
Well,
have
I'm
a lot of influence.
I'm shocked you haven't mentioned your fans yet.
Well, because it's implied by everything I do. He nods his head and says, I'm going to take a look at these more closely for now.
I would also, can we look like in each one of these chairs to make sure there's not anything hidden in like a crack or a nook or...
Sure. Make an investigation check for me, please, Nulls.
Okay, I'm going to guide myself because I can.
Okay.
I believe in you. Nice.
Hey,
You might hit
18
hit
plus.
20.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you roll the 1d4?
I got. Oh yeah, I should do that. I got an 18.
Yeah, that's what we
sure,
were
why
saying, was
not?
roll the
Right,
other
yeah,
one.
no.
I thought it was a delay. I was like, wait, what?
You
Oh,
make it a 20.
sorry.
That's okay.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, 22, see? Okay. You do not find Sataria, and I should have asked if Sataria is also doing that or not. You don't have to because Nulls is doing it. If you wanted to look elsewhere in this room, you could, Sataria, before I tell Nulls about this.
Yeah, let me. And Nullis has the right idea. I have guidance too, so.
Okay.
And
Gee, wow. Okay, 20. Everyone is like Everyone is on point.
Well, and
Yeah.
that it didn't seem to do the D4, so
Go ahead and
It's
do
more
the
than
D4
20.
separately. Do you want to?
Okay.
I was gonna like just to get a sense of it.
yeah, 21.
That's fine.
Nice.
Okay, so neither one of you see anything in these chairs that is different than what I've already described. None of these things seem to be currently, in the case of Satari and Nulls, like working. And in Jaraxxus's case, powered. None of them seem to be on. However, while you were looking around these things, you see several buttons that seem to be referencing. They actually have like a little visual, just an image basically on the panel next to a couple of these things that seem to be pointing to something down here. Like when you look up, you can see that there is a wide metal column that is extending from the floor to the ceiling. And if you're reading the things in these chairs correctly, they seem to be referencing this column. At least it looks the same. You don't know what that means, but you could go explore the column if you want. But it is interesting that each of these chairs has a kind of, panel next to a button, and the panel has that visual image of this same column that you see in the room.
Okay. I explained that to Jaraxxus, and I'm going to go look at the column.
Okay. While you're doing that, Jaraxxus, are you putting this on, like the headset on, or what are you doing with these things as you're looking at them?
I know that since we visited the auxiliary room, that some parts of the ship are slightly more powered now. Is this headset powered at all?
These don't seem to be powered. You're not sure whether that's because you haven't found the right thing yet, or they just don't power anymore. Like, that's possible.
Does it look like the headsets, are they wired?
Yes, all wired.
Does it look like the wires are like a plug and socket, like I could pull it out?
No, they look as if they
apart?
are, each one is fixed to their chair. They don't look modular. They all seem to be in the area and like attached.
Okay. Jaraxxus will spend his time, because none of them seem to be powered. He's going to, as delicately as he can, maybe with some mechanics skill, separate one of the headsets out, and maybe even like keep some of the wiring, because he knows then that he could maybe use the exposed wiring later.
Give me a mechanics check. Let's see how well you're able to do that.
Okay, I will guide myself.
Okay.
My
And then
little guidance drone will shine.
Then I'll come to Nulls and Satari in just a minute.
Great. My mechanics is not the best.
The headset of extreme squeezing, yeah. Exactly, Proxima.
That's an 18.
So you are able to disconnect the wires. These are very tough, though, and so you're not 100% sure. Like, there's no slot, there's no socket, as we talked about, so there's no power left to kind of zap you or anything. But when you are managed to kind of finally pull it out, there's a lot of like little loose, ends and like strands and everything. It was not the neatest removal process of all time, but you do now have this headset detached from one of the chairs.
Okay.
And in the meantime, Satari and Nulls, when you go south, you can see this wide metal column here, which is the one that Nulls is standing in front of. And there's a broken electronic panel on the side of it. And it reads it seems to have multiple lines. One of the lines, though, is and it's again a sort of a surface with lines on it. But one of the lines, clearly in common, says "Serv-O-Mat." Serv-O-Mat. And you can see a panel. It's got it's a piece of metal with some round, maybe like buttons type of thing. But it says Serv-O-Mat.
So, this serves mats. I mean, I like a good mat, but I don't understand why you would build up all of this metal and circuitry for a nice mat.
Is there even anywhere for them to come out? Satari's going to look to see if there's like a slot where like mats might come out.
You don't see a slot that necessarily looks like a mat, but you do see a fairly large area below, like on the bottom of the column, that has a separate metal like door that you can see that is currently closed, and it's on the same column as this. It's probably at almost at ground level. That is the same column as the column that has this other metal piece that says with the surface that says on it Servomat.
Can I, pardon me, open the door to that area at the
Wait,
bottom?
you cannot. At least not manually. You can't.
Okay, well, I'm going to go up to Jaraxxus and say there's a thing down there that serves mats called a Servomat.
What?
It serves mats.
A servomat. A servomat. Oh.
Yes, it serves mats.
Oh. As Jaraxxus pours through his memory, what is a servomat? See.
You'd have to look sort of to see it.
Yeah. He looks over. His guess is that this seems like it's going to serve drinks, maybe.
Yeah, when you
And
get
not
to
mats.
when you get to it, you can see the screen next to it, which does indeed have several languages on it. You can tell Jaraxxus, and one of them says Servomat. But also you can see a panel which, as you're looking at it, looks like the panel's slightly dislodged from the column. It might be broken, but it may not be that hard to repair. It may just be fixing a few screws, actually.
Yeah, he'll try that.
Mechanics check for me, please.
Great. Jaraxxus will say, could I get some guidance, please?
Satari
Have
can-
some guidance.
No.
Well, I'll take both. Why not?
Both of you simultaneously guide,
Yes.
creating too much guidance. There's an overflow.
One instance of guidance. Yes.
Overflow of guidance. Okay.
Not very good. That's an
Yeah, you sort of are like kind of jiggle it and kind of fiddle with it. It's missing both a servo and a mat, but you're almost positive you're not able to fix it. You think it could be fixed, Jaraxxus, and you do think that the area down below, because you also note the area that's got that separate little door in the bottom of the column, that might be, if your idea is right, that's wherever this produces would produce the stuff if you could fix it properly. But instead, as you're sort of turning in some screws, it's like it's clearly like stuck or not quite.
Yeah. Jaraxxus shakes his head and kind of like throws the screwdriver down in frustration, and he says,
My student?
he turns to Sataria.
I just want to see something.
He'll hand you the Omni tool that he's using, which I actually have in my inventory, a set of micro tools.
I remember
micro tool set. And I'll say, this is the problem. And he'll start explaining what is going wrong. And he's like, I tried screwing this way, and and he's explaining the whole thing, and then he's going to try to encourage Satari to give it a shot, and maybe she'll discover he was screwing it the wrong way, or his hands were too big to get into a spot that was better to manipulate the torque or something. But he's going to try to teach you how to fix this thing.
Satari, are you on board with trying?
Yeah, I mean, it's less bloody than medicine.
That's
so.
true. In that case, I'll have you make a wisdom check. I'm going to give this to you at -2, but you can use guidance, or someone else can guide you if you wish, and not disadvantage, because this isn't that complicated.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'll guide
The
myself.
teacher's not going to guide the student.
No, my intention is to do so.
Wax
Is there
on,
such
wax
thing?
on.
Do you do the help action at all, Greg?
You could try to assist on. Well, the only thing is yes, but I don't know that I want to give you the help action because you just, you know what I mean? Like you just failed at it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 20 months of support, Rippin' the Goon. Thank you for the sub. Good to see you, man. I hope all is well. Welcome. Okay, I heard that die roll.
right. Well, yeah. So I don't know if that was.
Oh, okay, that was
No,
just
it's
telling
just
me
the
guidance.
guide. Yeah.
Okay.
I keep wanting it to automatically do it in D&D
I know.
Beyond,
I
and
don't.
know
Yeah.
it does.
I think maybe because
Anyway.
it's not. It doesn't totally understand the whole Mysterious Peaks thing yet. I think is part of what it is. Anyway. Okay.
Not the worst.
Yeah, and then
And then the
I'll
guidance.
roll the guidance. So 11.
Yep, that actually is let's see. Although wait, did we get the +2? And then I said
-2.
-2,
Yeah.
So it's another 9.
so it'll be basically another 9. Yeah.
You're not going to try to teach me how to do this. I'm just
Oh.
over here.
Oh, no,
Worthless.
Sure. No, not worthless. It's Sitari and I had established a teacher-student relationship, whereas myself and you are more like colleagues.
Well, I taught you some guidance. You can teach me something as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And look, I don't mind when you guys ask me questions about these, doohickeys and so on, but maybe it'd be useful for me to show you how these work. Because in all honesty, I also don't know what a servomat is. So,
Nulls, you can do that check. Same -2, but again, one of you can guide this thing.
I'll guide you.
Everyone guides everybody.
I'd like to think that Jaraxxus, this little drone that he's built for his guidance, is really.
No,
it's
that's
really,
that's survival. We're looking for a wisdom check.
yeah.
Oh,
Just
what?
straight wisdom.
Oh, duh. Okay. Sorry.
His little.
Well, there we
drone
go.
is like a tiny.
That's a
I'm
save.
I'm just
If I
going to
wanna
do
be-
guidance for fun.
That's a
Great.
save. If I want to be mean, I'll say that it's a save, not a check. But that's okay. I will.
That's
I will
fair.
allow it in this case. That's the same check. But, so I'm sorry, Zach. You were finishing up. With
No,
what
I was
Drax
just saying that my little guidance drone is probably just like a cube with 2 little pincer arms that floats in the air, and it has a single like flashlight light bulb. And when it goes to guide, or like when things are happening, it just will sort of shrug or turn or tilt to the side.
it's
But
the
anyway.
new cute drone that everyone wants. That's cool.
Exactly. Every Star Wars movie's got to have a cute drone.
No, it's probably because you watched Sataria and Jaraxxus doing this. And this is good because we were running out of people. I wasn't going to let Gamork try this. But
Why not?
Gamork could just be like, "Raw!" Just like
Just
throw
bang
his head
into
there.
it.
Exactly.
Screwdriver in his mouth.
What's up,
Yeah.
Prince Justin? So anyway, you figure out a couple things, and then you kind of do this thing where it's like, Luke and in the original New Hope, like trying to get the thing out of R2D2, and then and then falls forward, and the thing ends up clicking, and all of a sudden it does this, and you hear this like alarming rattling from inside the column, and then like this, the door opens at the bottom of the column, and you see a set of what look like, I guess the best way to describe them would be like sealed metal containers. And there's a set of 6 and then another 6. There's 12 in all. And it comes out and then moves out and then deposits it on the ground. And so there are these 12 small metal containers. They look like, to jump out of game for a minute, like bento box size, like little lunchbox size almost type of thing. Right? And there's 12 of them. And they all seem to be sealed. Nulls. And everybody.
We
It
could
is.
open them.
Yeah, is there a place that seems to be openable?
There is. There's like a little like a tin key thing where you can like zoop 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 zoop, and when you open it, you see there is some kind of it looks like some kind of substance, maybe like almost looks like meaty or fishy or something, which doesn't smell awful. Might be food. It's Lunchables. You see several clear containers. Exactly, Prince Justin. But you can see like there's areas in that you could probably, it smells like maybe food if you had to guess.
How old is this?
Yeah. Is it hot, or does it look
It's
like
not
it was
hot,
just like?
but it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell sour or if it's gone bad.
Can Jaraxxus tell if this is food that that could have been preserved this long, or was this like just synthesized right now?
It's hard to say. It's a little hard to say. It seems more likely that it would have just been synthesized than anything else. Now, the material it was synthesized from has probably been in here for 300 plus years, but
Okay.
you know, but yeah.
Well, I was somewhat right. I thought it was going to give us drinks, but this serves you food. The
So-
Olmat is just sort of a, I don't know, makes it sound efficient.
Having opened one, can I offer it to Gamork?
So Gamork sort of walks over and then sniffs and kind of growls and like wrinkles his nose and backs up and like growls something which none of you understand, and then sort of turns away, looking vaguely offended. Didn't wrinkle his nose like, oh my god, poison and fall over, but you know, maybe not his cup of tea. Knowles, in the meantime, the rattling in the column is continuing and has gotten worse. And suddenly, it literally almost spits out with a puff of smoke, and then the column, and falling out onto the ground are skeletal remains. It falls onto the ground, and you can see several pieces of metal that are actually on this skeletal thing. It looks like to Satari and Knowles like armor, or what used to be armor, and something which is clutched in the skeletal remains fist. Now this one does have a head, although it's crushed and pulverized, and the whole thing is in bad shape. And the column shudders to a stop and is now silent.
This is out of the Servomat column?
Yes. Came out of the same like serving area that you just had.
I
So-
have a feeling this person did not die here.
Or maybe they did. There are such a things as stowaways.
Did it make the stuff out of the person?
Yeah, do we open the skeletons inside of a little
Delicious. No,
bento box?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't seem like it. I mean, it
Oh, okay.
certainly doesn't seem like that. This seems like, as I say, kind of fishy in origin. It smells like, or something, or some kind of meat or fish. But I mean, it could be that Soylent Green is people, but you don't you know.
A
What I
cleric would
mean
be so
is they could
useful.
have died somewhere else around the ship and not this particular room.
Oh,
That's a long column, right? That we don't know where it goes.
Right.
But
This is-
what are these metal things coming out of them?
yeah. Does this body seem to have something of value on it?
It looks like rusted pieces of probably Knowles and Sataria. You're pretty sure plate armor, but Jaraxis, you could guess that too. Probably some kind of metal armor. But you also notice that in the right hand, which is the only thing that's preserved relatively unscathed, I mean, it's skeletal hand, but whatever, is a green key card.
Oh,
Oh, oh, wait a minute. Somebody else can have one because I've got one.
I wanted it to be blue so bad.
But
Too
wait a
easy.
minute. This person seems to be Elysian, and they have the Greek card. There are people on this planet who understand how to work this ship, or there were.
he gestures at you.
You're learning.
It's not
Also,
out of the realm of
it's not hard to
possibility.
match colors.
Right, but you
figure-
have to know that you need them, and specifically a card.
This is true. I mean, but I don't know. Don't underestimate this planet. Your
Same group of people took those, and he points at the crude VR headset sim unit things.
and made it into armor that can melt people's faces off. So
Yeah, so the question is who exactly did it? So who's taking the green key card? Because I have one.
Draxus,
I'm over
I
it.
presume.
He says, I don't want it unless it's blue at this point.
Well, then Sataria will take it.
When we were in the auxiliary control room,
Mm-hmm.
there did not happen to be. It was describing the decks, right?
Mhm.
The turbolifts.
Mhm.
Was it just textually doing so, or could I bargain for a blueprint of the ship?
It did not have blueprints. There was no. This just sort of had a, I guess, like a very basic wireframe, but nothing that gives any details about it. It was almost like cutaway, side cutaway view of the ship, and it was like this, and then research deck, and it just shows you the little, cutaway rectangle, but it doesn't actually show rooms or anything like that, and then engineering deck and so on.
There are a couple of other areas in this room I think we need to look at before we venture further. Did we ever really look at this display panel that's up here?
No. And nor
And this we haven't looked at this area either.
Yeah, is this area here these like silver lines? Is that a wall?
It's
or
a
is
step
that...
up, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's like a little bit of an elevated platform. And this is another display screen here. This display screen here, though, has a big, as I mentioned, most of this looks like not, destroyed in any of the way that the rest of the ship that you found has been, except this screen here has a massive crack running through it, and it is dark.
Okay. And how about this, up on the platform and like in this little alcove?
That appears to be, from what you can tell, just sort of like a small room with, there were like little, like shelves, basically. Like each one of these things is a little shelf, but there's nothing on the shelf. If you had to guess, you'd say that people could have stripped, the shelves bare a long time ago, if you had to guess. But there's nothing on the shelves, no. Sorry, nothing on the shelves now.
And then, how about this spot over here?
That down there
southwest?
looks to be like, if you had to guess, sort of like a bathroom, like a washroom, maybe. There's a couple of sinks that you can see.
Draxus looks to see if there's another vaporized mark on the
No,
wall.
you do not see anything vaporized in here.
There's nothing particularly suspicious about that area at all.
Well, I would need something more specific, I guess, to answer that question. Like,
I mean, is there anything of note?
Only urinals, no stalls.
make a perception check for me, please.
I'm gonna grab myself because I can't.
Okay.
Okay.
So a 15. You don't think so, other than the fact that the room itself is, because of the sinks and so on, it's been a long time since any water has come out of these sinks, or anything like that. But you're pretty sure that's what there is. It's a kind of decent sized washroom or bathroom. This whole area looks like either an entertainment area, maybe for officers and crew or something like that. But if you had to guess, that's what this seems to look like. A lot of sort of entertainment areas, and then obviously this is some kind of like the servomat was some kind of like food, or cafeteria or something, back in the day, way back in the day, back in the millennia.
Okay, and can we exit out of here, or is that a dead end?
Down here,
Yes.
you could try to do so if you want.
Let's see.
We do.
Sure. When you open it up, it opens up into indeed a dead end. Technically, you don't know that the door leads here, but you can take a guess. So when you open it, it leads back to this turbolift that you saw here.
Okay.
You came in.
Well, let's go now on the other side of that we up here. Right here.
Okay.
Because there's no other exit over here. This is like a
Where did you
Where-
go?
this is just like a wall, right?
You're,
This
you're
is a
still
wall.
standing. You're
Can
still
you-
standing in the same place.
In
Where
order
you
to
moving else?
ping, you're gonna try holding down your mouse.
Oh, I was talking about this over here.
Okay, over there. Okay,
Because
Oh.
this seems to be a wall, right? This is a wall.
That
You
is a
can't
wall.
get through that.
That's
yeah.
right.
Okay.
I will define it as such this way. Okay.
It's
Sure.
also-
You can do that if you wish.
It's also right at time, it seems.
I was just going to say, yep. Because when you open this door here, zoop, you can see inside here that, as was the case in the sort of southern portion of this, most of the walls in this section have been torn down, but a lot of the area now is overgrown with twisted vines and branches. So
Oh,
this is
great.
more of that branches and vines stuff that you saw in the southern side. That's what you see here as well, just from the door, basically.
Draxus says, "Okay, now we're dealing with things that are not quite so dead. So let's keep our wits about us." And I suppose we head into this next section.
Okay.
We avoided it for a whole episode, and
Yeah.
now we're back.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, yes. When you enter the area, give me a second here. Oh, okay. That's why. I was like, what note am I looking for about this? So as you begin to enter the area. Okay. Yep. Yes, tell me more. There we go. Okay. As you move into the room, Jaraxxus, as you are heading over to the western side of the room over here, looking over in this region, let's say, you sort of are moving over, and then you notice something odd, which is that you see something weird over in the green area, or you feel something weird. I assume everybody is in the room, like somewhere in the room to begin with. Is that fair to say?
I'm not in the room yet. No.
Okay, so Satari, I'll have you in
I'm-
there too, assuming you are.
Go on in. Yeah.
I would like both you and Nulls to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
You mean Draxus and
I
Sataria?
beg your pardon, Jaraxxus and Sataria, yes.
So is Gamork in the area with us?
Gamork is hanging with you because that's what he's been doing
Okay.
the whole time. So, okay, 15.
Okay.
All right.
5.
Very appropriate.
Oh no.
As you're sort of, I imagine, as you're kind of like scanning downward something, Sataria, you probably noticed this a second before, and that is that a green vine suddenly you see, you're like, what? And then you see it up Jaraxxus. Spiral, 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 up Jaraxxus, and squeeze. And that's a great place for us to stop our session for today. We will
Well-
begin next time battling to get Jaraxxus out of this constricting vine that seems to have constricted him. By the way, it looks like there's
It's a good thing
couple
we'll have
others right
Raven
there.
back.
I was
I'll
going to
be
say,
okay.
you hope so. Raven's not like sitting there going like, I don't know whether I was. Yeah, fun stuff. You're beginning to sort of put some little bits of the puzzle together, and now
Yeah.
you have some other decks if you can get through this section first and free Jaraxxus. But it is great,
Bits.
right? Like the previous episode, you saw the one thing moving, you go back in, and then bro's
Yes.
going to get servo-matted. That's it's
Hopefully
exactly
not.
right. Yeah, but I'm very excited to see how this all goes down, and very interesting to kind of start seeing a little bit about how both Sataria Nulls, again, Thalesians, and Jaraxxus from outside the planet, each of them have their own sort of ways at being able to look at these things and have some value. Especially interesting because you all were sort of picking up on the what's going on with the freaking, why does it look like the cultist mask? Like, what is that about? That's interesting. And although I'm glad that we didn't further traumatize poor Raven for this, it was interesting to me to see you all being like, what's the nature of these bones? As Rhiannon's like, let me break it down for you. Here's the thing about bones, you know. I'm just kind of like, yes, I have all of that knowledge directly to hand. I totally knew exactly those things. Yeah, that's fascinating to actually watch everyone's minds work through this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I will start as I move back over to here, the cams one. I will start with Zach. Good stuff from Jaraxxus today. I was cracking up at the idea that, I could get whole fleets. If I could just connect, I'd be able to do this. I really love Jaraxxus's growing influence, which is beyond anyone's knowledge to this point. And it was great that Jaraxxus was the one who did not get the wisdom save at the end because Jaraxxus is too focused on let me check this out. So that's going to be interesting to see. And also, side note, I love the description of the guidance drone. It's very fun. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
It's always nice doing a bit of dungeon crawling. It's and a bit ominous too, finding all these claw marks and vaporizations and skeletons inside of servomats. So it's been fun. I have been enjoying the element of this fantasy versus sci-fi and Jaraxxus and his companions working through this and them picking up on things and even doing things better than he is with the technology.
Yeah.
So I like the role play of our characters understanding and reacting to the space is interesting. And then of course combat's gonna be cool too. This is actually the second time that Jaraxxus has been ambushed by a plant/fungus creature in the campaign. So that should be a lot of fun. People will find me, of course, here again for this. I'm also a part of the Our Vocalists, which is the stream on this channel where once a month we voice act text-based video games. Right now we're doing Citizen Sleeper, which is an awesome, really, really great, well-written game.
Yeah, speaking of sci-fi.
That was a lot of fun. I'm also a part of Gen GMs, which is Greg and I, we do a D&D/general tabletop GMing advice podcast that you can find on YouTube. And we're also in a progressive rock band called The Road that released our last album Exodus in 2023. Check that out. And I'm going to Gen Con, and I'm on all places as either Zach Clay or Midday Clay, and that's gonna be that. And I'm being called away at the moment, so I'll make sure to leave my camera on and everything. But if I don't see anyone till then, I will have most of you, maybe not Rhiannon, at Gen Con in a little less than a week. So
sounds good. Thanks, Zach. I'll talk tomorrow, and I will see you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So
sounds good.
Thank you, Zach. Bye for now. As we said, LaShawn Mwanek is not joining us tonight, but will be back with us next month. So you should check out all of LaShawn's work in various places. LaShawn recently was on a panel that I don't remember, but I was looking at the her posts about it on Blue Sky, and it looked pretty cool. So anyway, you should get all of LaShawn's stuff. LaShawn will not be at Gen Con, but will be at Worldcon, by the way. Normally plays Raven Galinar, and as was said, will probably be needed. Let's hope that Raven wakes up out of her stupor and gets out of that auxiliary control room by that point. Toya, as always, great stuff from Nulls. I appreciate the fact that both Sataria and Nulls are not, this is not sort of like awful kind of, caveman sort of tropes or sort of stereotypes, or it's just me not understand buttons, it's not that. Obviously Magitech has influenced the planet, so there is going to be a little bit more of understanding of some of those things, but still not going to know the details that Jaraxxus will. But that also means that there is information that you have that they don't. So again, being able to notice certain things about the masks and stuff like that is significant, but also being able to then put two and two together and go, you said there were levels, right? You said there were things like that. very valuable to be able to have questions like that asked when someone who's used to being on a ship all the time may not think of those things. And that is helpful when trying to kind of track down and unravel the mystery. And that obviously, Chad, is what this is. The whole ship is kind of a mystery about what it is and why it had this effect on people. So, and there's so much more to the mystery that we will discover in the next few sessions. But it was fun to watch that, and I am very much looking forward to seeing how Null's not having had to be affected by this is going to deal with the, hearing the strangled sound of Draxus not being able to talk and Starry being like, wait, that's going to be fun times. How'd you feel about today, Toya? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, that is an interesting conundrum that I kind of think about whenever we discover some technological thing that perhaps, Nulls and Sataria shouldn't know, and how dumb I should be, and like what things I should or should not be asking based upon what Nulls may or may not understand. And I found it interesting. Things are way too quiet. I mean, we're finding bodies and skeletons and stuff, but nothing's jumping at us, and that just feels wrong. I'm very glad, though, it waited till the end so we can have Raven back. And also hoping that once we defeat this thing, it will complete, us being able to look at this entire level, and then we can take a turbo lift to hell. Anyway. I will also be at Gen Con next week. I am also extremely way too available for all your editing needs. Or, like your narrative design consultations and your narrative and story consultations. So again, when in doubt, just ask me. I can probably do it. You asked me something else. I forgot what it was.
No, just what you thought about today and all that kind of good stuff. And
yeah, way too quiet. Time to beat down some plant. Find us a turbo lift.
Yep.
Get us on a turbo lift to hell. That's me.
I love the idea that going down engineering is going to be the hell turbo lift if that's where we go. But always a pleasure, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Again, everyone, Toya is going to be in the Gray Shade event that is happening less than a week from now, where you're going to get a chance to see the new Gray Shade TTRPG designed by friend of the channel, Brandon O'Brien, based on my Gray Shade world. And you will have a chance to see that as Toya and I will be playing, along with three others of our closest companions, Richard Lee Byers and Karen Menzel and Jennifer Brozek, all go along in this adventure made by Brandon O'Brien. So I will see Toya there. Travel safe, Toya. I'll see you next week. And Rhiannon, always a pleasure to have you on board as well. Again, Satari, I really, no joke, was loving the sort of the osteographic, the osteopathy lecture. It was good stuff. I was really appreciating that. And I did think that the sort of archaeological / healing component of this is important, because knowing that this is a Thalesian and not a 300-plus-year-old whatever, that is important, because it indicates that there have been multiple people that have tried to go into the ship, take it down, remove things from it, loot it, whatever. That's important information to know. And it's also important to know that this somehow influenced both technology that Jaraxxus is familiar with and technology that you're familiar with. And that's interesting, and that suggests that this may be indeed a linchpin of a lot of stuff that's happening within the game. So I was very cool to see all that kind of play out. And we may have need of your some healing skills after the thing is done squeezing Dr. Jaraxxus. How'd you feel about today, and where will the lovely folks see you next?
Oh, a lot of fun. And as I think I said, use for the osteology class. That class in college was legendary about how hard it was. Because when you're an archaeologist, you need to be able to identify human bone instantly so that you can treat it properly. So you need to be able to see like the bits of the side of a fragment.
Oh my God.
And have a sense that it might be human. So they worked us hard. And I have, thank goodness, never had use for it in the real world. So,
and finally, it was a long play. You got use for it right here.
Exactly. And I really enjoyed the bonding that Nulls and Sataria could do over, why would you serve a mat and things like that.
Yeah, that was hilarious. The serve a mat
coming together. People can find me Worldcon. Got some panels. I will be around. Worldcon comes to my city after I've moved away. Ooh. So I will be there. And then also coming up August 23rd to 25th, I'm going to be part of an indie ebook sale for SpecFic.
Oh, cool.
So it's the Narratus sale full of just a ton of awesome books, and you can pick up one of my urban fantasies for $1. I mean, you got $1. You can pick it up, Hound and Key. And then my space opera compendium, that's $2 because it's 4 novellas in a compendium. So watch out for that on my socials. I will be linking it extensively so you can pick up my stuff and a lot of other cool people's stuff too.
Awesome. Thank you, Rhiannon. Yes, definitely you should do all of those things. And I am looking forward to seeing, as I mentioned, Rhiannon and LaShawn at Worldcon, hopefully, along with Prince Justin and several others who are going to be out there next month. So it's going to be busy over the next few weeks, but a lot of fun. So, but in the meantime, we will get our crew back together with this next month. Probably towards the end of the month is my best guess, but we will talk about that. But otherwise, we'll have a chance to see more of this deck being explored. Our hope, by the way, chat, is to try to get going 2 Eberron sessions and 2 expedition sessions a month. That's what we'd like to do, but IRL things and scheduling happen. So we'll do the best we can. At least I'm happy that we've been able to do consistently a month at a time, and that even if one person's missing, it's not the same person. So we've been able to kind of keep things going that way. So things will stabilize as we continue to move on. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing players of the Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks crew? Thank you so much to LaShawn, who is not here but will be here next month. But thank you to Rhiannon Held, to Toy Kristen Finley, and to Zach Clay. Great job, crew. I will see you folks in various places over the next couple of weeks.
Good night, everybody.
Bye for now. All right. That was a lot of fun. I have actually been enjoying, I mean, I like dungeon crawl stuff too. That's always fun. But I have been enjoying the kind of Dead Spacey type thing a little more than I thought I would. And like me personally playing as one would be like, oh God, no, just because scary McScary pants, right? Like it's not, that would not be the thing. But when you're talking about something like this, where you're actually, a little bit about what's being sort of ahead and sort of structuring it, that's a lot of fun. And I am absolutely like, as the mysteries sort of develop and you get a sense of how this thing ties into everything that they've run into on this planet and everything that's about it, it's very cool. So I am super pumped to continue this adventure with the crew next month, which we will make an effort to do. However, right now, we are going to rise up on out of here. I hope you folks enjoyed this tonight. And if so, I hope you will follow the channel and do all that good stuff. Before I mention the quick note about schedule, so we will be off tomorrow and Monday. Always, of course, be on the lookout for impromptu streams. But otherwise, we'll be off tomorrow and Monday. But I will be back on Tuesday with the Patreon Field Chat Chosen Game of the Month, Gorogoa. And that'll happen at the normal time, noon to about 3:15 p.m. Eastern. There will not be a GOG stream this coming Tuesday because I'm going to be leaving after that to head out to Gen Con in an attempt to actually arrive there before like 9 p.m. on Wednesday, driving a million hours. But I'm going to be heading out there. I will be at Gen Con this coming weekend. I will be at the symposium, the Writer Symposium, on various panels. Please come see I have a workshop that I'm doing. I have a coffee clutch with Richard Lee Byers that I'm doing. I have a signing that I'm doing with Tim Wagoner, and I have multiple panels that I'm on. So I am very much looking forward to that. It's going to be a good time. I am also going to hopefully be recording a new Gen GM show with one Mr. Zach Clay. I'm going to be doing a photo shoot with our vocalists. And I am going to be otherwise hanging out and talking to people about Greyshade, which is something I'm super pumped about, the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade. There's going to be a special preview adventure, basically, that is going to be a live event that does require tickets, but they're not super expensive. If you're going to Gen Con, please do log into your account and check it out. If you search for Greyshade, Grayshade, you will see tickets available, and please get that and come join us for that event with Brandon O'Brien GMing myself, Toya Kristen Finley, Jennifer Brozek, Karen Menzel, and Richard Lee Byers as we go through that. It's going to be a good time. I am super pumped for that. But otherwise, that is going to be it for me for this evening. Let me just double check quickly and see what we've got by way of a, let's see, by way of who we've got on. Hold on a second. Just a moment. Also, thank you, Prince Justin. Great stuff. Yeah, okay. I see something. So I think we're going to do a raid because it's not super late. So the way that we do a raid is very simple. If you are not a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed, followed by Twitch raid, lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. If you are a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed, Arvany Roar, Arvany Hype, Arvany Smug, Arvany Love, Arvany Blown, all the Arvanys, all the Arvany time, when you are brought over automatically to the person that we are going to be raiding, which is D&D themed, by the way, today. If you liked what you saw and heard today, as Prince Justin has mentioned, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube. Thank you for those who watched me on YouTube today, ! ArvTube. Please do subscribe to us over on YouTube. That would be very much appreciated. The Discord is ! ArvCord. You can hang out with us in between streams. Twitter is ! ArvTweets, but not for much longer. I am only 21 followers away from 1,000 on Blue Sky, and you can join that group, ! ArvSky. When I get to 1,000 followers, I am going to lock down my Twitter account. I will not use it again after I reach 1,000 on Blue Sky, and it will just be Blue Sky all the time. Truth is that I've dropped down a lot in Twitter usage, and it's mostly Blue Sky now anyway, but that is going to be the end at that point, and I'm just going to be using that for all my micro-blogging needs. So please do follow me over on Blue Sky. It's free for you to do that, but it really helps us out. And again, check out Gen GMs, ! Gen GMs, that DMGM tip show I do with Zach Clay. More on that to come shortly as we broadcast and put more stuff out there. On the, and again, website, arvanelevron.com. On the financial front, ! Arv Shop. That's our merchandise area. ! Arv Treon, sitting right there, is the Patreon. Again, cool stuff for you and cool stuff for the channel. There's stuff there that you cannot get by subbing, so please consider doing that. I tried to make it that the subs and the Patreon stuff does not overlap so that you can support both if you so wish. That would be lovely. And that is, again, ! Arv Treon for that Patreon. Also, there is subbing to the channel, which gives you those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch, and inspirations for our tabletop players both there and at the Patreon. So please consider doing that. That would be great. On the publishing front, ! Icarus. That's my graphic novel from Athos Arts. ! Library is my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment, which is also responsible for the Greyshade TTRPG. And speaking of Greyshade, ! Greyshade, Greyshade Renegade Heretic. That's the Grey Assassin trilogy from Athos Arts, available there. You can also get the audiobook of Greyshade from our very own Trent Sparks at that link. Be on the lookout for Renegade and Heretic, the last two audiobooks in that trilogy, coming out in the fall. And of course, the aforementioned tabletop role-playing game from Brandon O'Brien and Alligator Alley Entertainment, coming out very soon. You can pre-order that at that link. And again, make sure to check out that thing on Friday at Gen Con. I'll also try to live stream it because I'm very pumped up for that. It's going to be an awesome game. I know it's going to be an awesome game, and I can't wait for people to get a chance to see it. So please make sure that you check that out as soon as you get the opportunity. And again, thank you to Alligator Alley for that, for sponsoring this campaign and for publishing that as well. Last but certainly not least, ! BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. ! Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And ! Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message we'll do so for others in that situation in the future. Thank you to my wonderful mods today, Prince Justin, Triffity Mats. I know Shadowed Mage was in here earlier before, and also Drew the Damager. Thank you to Shadowed for that raid, by the way. Thank you to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers, Prince Justin, Triffid, Nonstop. And thank you so much to my viewers. Thank you to Baron Valor. Thank you to Bit. Thank you to Butthurt Gamer, Darksteel Spork. Thank you to Jagtris. Thank you to Jet Lee. Thank you to Fagami. And thank you to Proxima Rising, who was here earlier as well. Thank you all so much. Please stick around for the raid. And otherwise, I will see you lovely folks back here Tuesday at noon Eastern for the puzzle game Gorogoa, our last pre-Gen Con 2025 stream. I'll see you on Tuesday. Until then, everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend. Please spread the word about Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks. And special thanks again to my players, to Rhiannon, to Toya, to Zach, and to LaShawn for being awesome. I look forward to doing more of this with them next month. That's it for me. Thanks, everyone. Stick around for the raid, and I will see you all soon. Until then, much love, and everyone, please be good to each other. Bye for now.